you guys give me if I kill that bird? Barbara, that's a bald eagle. Get away, Baldy! Yeah!
Well, good evening, and good evening. This is The Wort with Mike, Pete, and Steve, GovsRadio.com. We are broadcasting live here from the biggest and baddest comedy club in all of Long Island, Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. It's been a month, but we are back here in studio. We got some buddies on the Zoom. We got a buddy in the house, so we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. But first, before we kick it off, two things you got to remember. Number one, we are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. Go to the Governor's Comedy Club podcast channel, Governor's Comedy Club podcast channel, and check us out on both YouTube and Facebook. Tonight, we are also going to jump on the Instagram Live. And, of course, you can check it out in podcast form starting tomorrow on all your favorite platforms, on iTunes, on Spotify, on Amazon Music, and, of course, always on the Hopped Up Network. Before we get started tonight, we have some sponsors, so Steve, take it away with Rosie's Draft Solutions.
Rosie's Draft Solutions is a Long Island family-owned business that provides professional draft beer system services, line cleanings and maintenance, draft beer line system installs, event dispensing solutions, and more. They are passionate about craft beer and making sure it has the same quality as when it left the brewery, and that is only done by making sure the draft system that it's being poured on is perfectly clean.
Clean and tight.
Rosie's services bars, restaurants, halls, events, and all other beverage establishments, including home kegerator installs across Long Island and Westchester. With backgrounds in professional brewing, certified Cicerone, and off-flavor detection, they are here to bring you professional services so you can serve the best quality product while obtaining the best yields from those kegs. Charlie boy?
Yeah.
You can reach them at Rosie's Draft Solutions, rosiesdraftsolutions@gmail.com, or call them at 631-219-2075, Monday through Sunday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Mention the Wort, get a little discount, maybe get a little rub and tug. I don't know. There's different things we do.
I don't know.
Different promotions all the time.
Yes. Yeah, Nick's running it all the time, so give Nick a call, and we'll go to Rosie's Draft Solutions, type in promo code WART, or just let them know the Wort sent you and receive 10% off your order or any hardware service that you need. Peter, take it away with Beer Maker.
Beer Maker, your at-home countertop all-grain brewing system. Works with an app. A lot of fun. I got the Kolsch, the Squeaky Kolsch brewing right now. Looking forward to drinking that. That's second time with that one. The recipe was so good.
Is it?
New recipes, new kits added all the time. New ones like the Scottish Wee Heavy. That looks good. You're going to be brewing the Marzen, I think.
I sure should be.
Looking forward to that. Beer Maker. Make some beer. Make a little doggy biscuits with the spent grain.
Yeah.
All sorts of fun there. Use promo code WORT for a little discount on your maker.
The Wort.
The Wort.
The Wort.
For a little discount on your maker.
Yep. And check them out. Go to BEERMKR.com or check them out on Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. They're up there. We are also tonight sponsored by a brew bag for your beer pong cornhole. Can't wait till it gets a little warmer out.
Yeah.
And then I clean up the dog crap in the backyard so I can actually play it in the yard.
I went through a
lot.
month's worth.
Yeah,
at
me
least.
too. I did too. Go to Beer Maker.
Poor neighbor.
Go to Beer Maker.
I just keep throwing it over the fence.
And that's what's going on, is that you're making too many doggy biscuits in your beer maker.
Maybe.
And it's leading to quite a load in the backyard. But go to brewbag.com, type in promo code THEWORT, and receive 10% off your order. We also have a special link in our Instagram bio. Go ahead and click on that, and you will find a little percentage, our own private website for the Wort, and get percentage off your order. They do some really cool wraps and customized logos.
So cool.
for breweries, for businesses, for individuals. So go to brewbag.com. Also sponsored by vintagebeershirtclub.com. Vintagebeershirtclub.com for your monthly subscription to Vintage Beer Shirt Club. And again, use promo code TheWart and receive 10% off your monthly order. Vintagebeershirtclub.com. We should be getting new ones in that we can start giving out again.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I reached out and he's sending a new shipment in. So vintagebeershirtclub.com. Big shout out to Brewers Hardware as well. Thanks a lot for all their participation over the last 5 years with this show. Brewers Hardware has been an OG, triple OG from the beginning. Go to brewershardware.com for your small capacity, large capacity needs. Brewershardware.com. Try clamps for days. Type in promo code TheWart and receive a percentage off your order. And tonight, did I miss anybody? No, Physics.
Physics.
Shit.
Oh,
Yes, Physics.com.
I thought that was who you were going to go with.
No, it's Physics.com. And, of course, your at-home tap system, go to Physics.com, type in the Wort and receive 20% off your order.
Oh, shit.
Physics.com is doing some great stuff. Check them out. I should have brought it knowing that the crowler was going to come. I didn't know. Charlie should have reached out to you. That's my bad. And we could just take that crowler, turn it into a nice little tap, and pour it right in. And I figured out the little trick on it
Those
and
tiny
why it didn't
bubbles.
work last time. So
Tiny bubbles.
Tiny bubbles. Go to physics.com or again, check out our promo code inside of our bio of our Instagram page. And thank you very much for everyone for tuning in tonight. Our phone lines are open tonight, folks. 516-465-3990, 516-465-3990. The phone number's right there at the bottom of the screen. And our guests via tonight from Bucket Brigade.
Nice.
It's Carl
What's
and
up,
Kurt.
guys?
What's going on, guys?
Good evening.
How you doing?
Well, thanks a lot for joining us, gentlemen. Appreciate it. A couple things just so the audience knows why do we reach out to you. Well, we were supposed to have you on at AC Beer Fest, and we all know how that goes. AC Beer Fest was quite, I don't want to say a shit show because it was awesome. Great time.
Great time.
But it's so many people and so much. I don't think people understand at festivals how busy it is. And the only time that the brewers and the people that are manning the tents have to enjoy themselves is like that 1 hour in between sessions.
Yep.
And we were running around trying to get people, and everyone's trying to fit in lunch, trying to jump around to their friends at other things. So we understood as we were going around. I had our producer, Tom, run around and try to get everyone in. But it's very, very difficult under those circumstances. So thank you very much for coming on the show with us tonight. We wanted to get you in because we really enjoy what you guys are doing, and we want to kind of highlight that. And we brought Charlie in, who's also a huge supporter of first responders and all of that good stuff. So let's start, guys, with you. Let's talk a little bit about the background. Where did you guys start your process here? How did you get into brewing? And bring us up to date onto how you guys opened up the brewery.
So in probably February 2016, when I was getting ready to retire from the fire department as fire chief, I said to Kurt, I said, hey, we got to do something. So came up with this idea. We can brew.
We haven't done enough already.
Yeah.
So, we can brew beer. And he's like, we know nothing about it. I said, well, we drink enough of it. We can figure it out. So we got in the garage and started YouTubing and, it's calculations, hoses, valves, things like we use in the fire service. So
I didn't think of it that way. That's cool.
Yeah, it wasn't really that hard. It just a little more chemistry to it than what we do.
All right.
And, one thing led to another, and we would take our beer on the road and a cooler in the back of the truck to different fire events and around the neighborhood to our friends and try this. And people said they liked it. And 6 months later, we were having a lease on a building and opening up the brewery pretty much.
Nice.
Now, you guys, you said you were a fire captain. Was it in the township? Was it in the county? What was the role of is it Cape May? Did I spell it wrong on the Instagram post, by the way? I think I might have. I wrote Cap May.
Yeah, you missed an E.
I did miss the E. And I'm so diligent on trying to proofread it, but you never should proofread things yourself. I'm going to send it out to you guys from now on because I always do that. I miss a date or I get something wrong, and I'm like, God damn it, I can't believe the E got left off. Cape May Courthouse, thank you, yes. And I knew that was interesting. So what was the role you had with the fire department besides being captain? Or tell us a little bit about how that department is structured for people that don't live in New Jersey.
So the brewery's in Middle Township. We live in Lower Township. So the township over, and we were volunteer firemen in Irma Volunteer Fire Company for over 25 years. That's where we started.
Oh, okay.
And then I went on to Morristown Airport, and I worked there for 3 years on the airfield. Went out west, fought a couple forest fires twice, and then I got a job with the state of New Jersey. They have 3 facilities where they have fire departments, and I ended up becoming fire chief there and retiring.
Oh, cool.
And how many years were you on in that position?
I was 15 years.
Wow. You said forest fires. I mean, that's a thing in New Jersey? We don't have too many of
he
those.
went out west.
Yeah, out west.
Oh, you went out west. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, I missed that part.
Colorado area or California or
Yeah, so Kurt and I both went to Oregon in '96. We were on the North Fork of the John Day River. That fire got run over, and then it made CNN News. And then in 2001, I went back by myself to the Wenatchee National Forest on Lake Chelan in Washington State.
Were you a jumper?
No,
Oh.
we're all hand crew.
Okay, so on the ground, shipping in, getting in there.
Yeah, the
Cutting
hot
it-
shots first, and then we come in and mop it up afterwards.
All right, is that what they do? They walk out all singed and ashed, and like, all right, here comes the mop-up crew. Take care of it, boys.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Shovels, rakes, and plastic.
Yeah, oh, yeah, there you go. Exactly.
You gotta remember, we're flatlanders.
That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
That's no joke out there. I mean, you talk about serious forest fires. The West is, to me, just hell on earth when it comes to those fires. It's got to be
and when it's not burning, it's also
hell on can be.
hell on
Oh
earth.
yeah, heat wise and everything.
Beautiful country, though.
Yeah, for sure. So you spent 15 years in the current position, or as the fire chief in Monmouth. You said, right?
Well, that's
Upper.
when I worked at the airport. I wasn't fire chief there. I was fire chief in Winslow Township, Camden County. Not for Winslow Township, for the state facility that was there.
Okay. Yeah, it's a little different here on Long Island. Everything's structured by village or town
Yeah.
as opposed to county, because we're a smaller condensed space. So you have to have small departments, smaller houses. You know, each town has maybe 2 houses, 3 at most. It depends on how big the town is. So it's hard to kind of see how other departments structure their layout in a sense. Mm-hmm. Interesting. So you guys, where'd you start? I mean, I know you said you like drinking, and obviously you wanted to try this around. what were some of the first things you guys were trying to get your hands on in order to start this process? Did you start with like a make it home kit, or did you really just go right for the home brewing experience?
Well, I'm the engineer in the bunch, so I kind of scrapped around in the house, and I got a cooler and some old pots, and that's how we started. I raised it up so that the cooler would, drip down in the.
Nice little gravity feed going on.
Yeah, and then I switched from that real quick because that got old. And I went to 2 new pots, and my dad helped me wire in some hot water heater elements and some controls, and we bought some pumps, and that's how we made beer in the garage.
Yeah,
Interesting.
It's such a. The thing is, it's an addicting process because you always want the next bigger toy, and you guys did. You went and got a brewery, so I mean that's the end all. When you're a home brewer, you just want to keep going bigger and bigger, and then you can have a brewery.
You guys come upon the space where you're at now in Cape May Courthouse.
Well, it's kind of ironic that the building we're in was our uncle's building, his family's building. And he didn't own it, though. They had sold it in 2006.
Okay.
But the gentleman that bought it from him was selling, and we said, this is the only building that looks like a firehouse in this county, and it's on Main Street, USA. And we knew that it was on wetlands and it had a lot of issues, but we were like, it has to be this building.
What did you guys have to do because of that to make that work? I mean, how is it dealing with the town and the permits and the state and all that stuff?
They're laughing. I like it.
They're already like, yeah, all right. Here's what the real story is, folks.
Let's put it this way. It was a daunting process, and I'm not going to say names, but there were people that said, you're never going to open that place there in that town. They're not going to let you.
Wow.
And still here now 5 years later.
There you go.
What was it, like specifically things you had to overcome? Was it a pollution thing, something you had to clean up, like EPA, or did you have to sewer based, or your personal not excrement? What do you call it? Just taking the water out,
Waste
waste
water,
waste
yep.
in general.
No, it wasn't anything like that. It was more that the parking lot had to be stone. It couldn't be asphalt, and we had to get waivers to put concrete down for handicap parking and delivery areas and things like of that nature. We had to go back to zoning and planning to get a patio out front and engineered. It cost you a fortune to have an engineer just for $500 worth of fence to put out front, and it was just a lot of different things. A sign violation that came along with, and I had to pay a lawyer and
handicap parking space.
Did they make you do a traffic analysis?
No, we didn't have to do that.
I'm surprised they were hitting you with every fucking other thing.
Don't tell the guys from Long Beach. Yeah. I mean that's daunting. So I want to focus because that just kind of rattled my brain for a moment. You had a stone parking lot. You had to concrete it. You had to get like a very special permit, or you couldn't just pave it yourself. You couldn't just hire a contractor.
Let's say the parking lot's 1,000 square feet. We were allowed to get so much square footage of concrete down. The rest had to be stoned.
Why?
What was their reckoning on that? Why they think
about runoff and different things? There's a creek here next to us. It's called Crooked Creek, and at the end of that creek, there's a plant called swamp pink, and that's what they're protecting.
Gotcha.
See, when you said wetlands, I thought the same thing. Like, wastewater from the brewing process, but they're just worried about like rainwater seeping into the.
Yeah.
They're worried about the runoff from the asphalt parking lot.
Yep. Yeah, it's surrounded by asphalt everywhere with the hospital next door.
Yeah.
Huh. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense. Just shaking your head going, huh, I didn't even think about that.
Well, we're here now. That's
what matters. So you guys opened 5 years ago, 2017.
Yes.
Was at that point that the town welcomed you with open arms at that point once you got past all the hurdles that they put in front of you, like, all right, now we can't really say much, time to open up. How was that opening day? What did you guys start with? What was the the mission statement here to start this off?
So the first thing that got done, because all the politicians and different people in the town, the Chamber of Commerce and things, and they all want to come out and cut a ribbon and do their
show their face,
get their envelope.
Yeah, before I walked through the door, we had a bagpiper here to play bagpipes, play some tunes, and then after that ceremony was done, because that meant a lot to us being firemen, then we allowed people to come through the door.
Cool.
I had a bagpiper at my wedding. I don't know if you guys knew that.
There's a piper down.
I know.
Piper down.
Well, as an O'Toole, I got to have pipes.
Yeah,
I mean,
fair enough.
It's got to be something here. So you guys have been, like I said, for 5 years. What was the initial opening tap list? What did it look like? What kind of styles did you guys have on that list as people were walking in?
I think we had between 5 and 7 beers, I think.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah.
Okay.
How long did it take you to build up production for that opening weekend? Like, did you start with quick, easy styles that you can turn around in a few weeks?
They were simple beers, you know what I mean? Nothing major.
There was a Belgian, I remember.
I didn't have the cream ale then. I think we made a Pilsner, but with Pilsner, like Smash, and Cascade hops, just simple things like that, because we were running out of time. We were jammed up with the township, so I only had, so much time to brew beer before we opened.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, you get the AOK, and it is a race, a sprint before your opening date, trying to set that date and then meet that date with the beer styles you want to come out with. And you also want to have enough beer on the backup. We've seen that with one of our newest local breweries on Long Island, who opened up for a couple
not the first time either, where we've seen a brewery open up and then have to
that's very
close
typical
for a couple weeks.
Right.
After.
Yeah, so they open for a weekend or two,
Yeah.
run out of beer in seconds, and then they have to close for weeks, and it really does spoil. Did you guys have to go through that process? You have to stop for a little bit and recoup?
Knock on wood, we haven't had to do that.
Nice. Good. You're well prepared then.
We've been close and biting our nails, but we made it through.
We run out of styles and flavors of beer, but never ran out of beer totally.
Good. Now, do you guys? How does the licensing work in New Jersey? We've had a few of the New Jersey breweries on. We never really went into depth of this in regards to selling beer. Is there such thing as a farm license in New Jersey, or Is it something different where you can sell other people's beer, have somebody else, or can you sell local wine or spirits or anything like that?
No, New Jersey doesn't allow those things like probably New York, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and the rest of the civilized
Everyone else but us, yeah.
all the civilized states besides us. But the reason, and I'm not knocking anybody, but the reason why things are the way they are, one is there's a lot of bureaucracy in this state. Everybody knows that.
And corruption.
Yeah, and the bar owners are so strong that they we do, and they get things legislated that keep us from doing more.
And you would think, though, as New Jersey expands and grows every year, like every year there's new breweries open up, AC Beer Fest is just up and down, awesome breweries all over the place. You would think they would gain more power politically or influencing, those types of legislations.
You have to look at, too, I mean, the Jersey beer scene is not, well, it's getting there.
Yeah.
But
it's exploding. For the last 5 years since they've been open.
New York beer scene has been around for a bit.
Yeah.
New York Brewers Association has been on this about, getting certain things done to help the brewers out. Just like what's happening, to Bucket Brigade here is their hands are tied. You can only do so many things because the restaurant and hospitality has the say.
There's only so much, right? You guys have a state brewers association, correct?
Yes, the NJBA.
Yeah,
there's two of them. A couple of breweries a few years back, bigger ones split off and created their own, and but most of the breweries are in NJBA.
Okay.
Now, who had? I guess what I want to say is, why would they do that? Because you got to know that by doing that, you're kind of splitting a little bit of the power up, right? You got to see that if you're more unified as a state and the Brewers Association is one big collective whole, it would speak louder, right? So has there been any push towards maybe going backwards and unifying the two systems?
Oh, sure. They've had chats back and forth numerous times, but I think that the bigger ones forget that they were little once.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Sure.
Not being rude, but they have a different business model now. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think they like where they're at. We've worked together on some things, and then there's other things that I'm sure that the leadership has had to go back and forth about and maybe not resolved or so big. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not in those meetings, but we try to do what's best for everybody. And whether that happens or not, the ABC is not an easy station to deal with, and they have the reasons why. They're trying to make it fair for everybody. But breweries in general bring millions of dollars to the state.
Oh, God,
So when you think about it, they're not Googling Joe Blow Tavern down the street and coming here. But yet the amount of people that we've brought here in 5 years to this town, and we've told the mayor and a couple of the other people, would have never have come here before.
Right.
Sure.
So they know there's money in it, but they also, there's votes. You know how this game's played.
Yeah, for sure.
The bigger, more votes, this, that, more money, more contributions to campaigns. You know the game.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's tough. It sucks that it's just a political game when we can just enjoy beer free and openly in a place where all around New Jersey, it's all happening just like that. There's a lot of agreements and people collaborating and all that other stuff between I guess politicians or even just legislation and the brewers themselves and the guilds and the organizations. It just, I don't know. I think Steve was saying, I think it's because it's still relatively new compared to New York. But then how can we explain Pennsylvania? How can we explain Delaware, whose beer scenes aren't even there yet? They have their own rights to some great breweries, but
Pennsylvania has some really big breweries there.
Well, Yuengling.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
There's some really massive breweries that, put a lot of money into the system.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you guys, during the COVID, were they letting you guys do to-go beers? Were you guys able to deliver to homes? I know the Tri-State was trying to be on the same docket, so to speak?
Yeah, so you could call in and order ahead of time, and we would have it waiting for you, and then you just pick it up and go. They had home delivery, which I think they still do. People can still do home delivery.
Oh, that's good.
They really, I will say they really tried to help us the best they possibly could and loosen things up, which was a godsend, really. I mean, if they didn't, I don't know where we would be or some of the other ones would be, because it was a struggle for about 3 months.
Yeah, for those tough. Until the summer of 20, it was definitely rough. And I remember summer of 20 feeling like we could go out. People were traveling a little bit, especially in the tri-state area, driving, maybe not so much flying, but there were still people. We traveled. We went out and we went to Boston. Yeah, we went up to Boston and we did a couple of things. So it was still there. Thank goodness for them. That saved a lot of breweries, like you said, and it also saved a lot down here. Now, what were the? I mean, I hear on the news that finally, like, some of those mask mandates and stuff like that are gone in New Jersey. That all ended this weekend or today? What was the final word on that?
Hey, no. I think that was that mainly for schools. Don't quote me, but I think that
it could have been. Yeah, I just knew New Jersey was a little bit behind New York, and I was wondering, maybe if there was some difference in, some of the restrictions.
Well, the governor was in an election year, so he treaded real.
Yep, you got to be careful.
Yep.
The way it is. I mean, he treaded lightly and lifted some restrictions well before the election, and they've kind of stayed off since then. And now with, you see, the truckers and this and that and different people stomping feet all over. I think they're starting to get the message that people just want to go back to normal living.
Yeah, I mean, since you guys had that, that summer of 2020, it's been better business growing over the last, let's say, 2 years or so.
We right after when they opened it back up at June 15th or whatever it was, 2020, we were just hammered all the way into November, almost December, which was rare for us to have that happen.
Yeah.
And then this year it was a really good summer all the way through, but then it dropped back off again like it normally did. The people went back home for the summer because the kids went back to school.
Yeah, so I do want to address that. You're in an area of New Jersey where it is a lot of tourist and seasonal traveling and stuff like that. How is the off-season crowd? You have a lot of in-town or local, patrons that come by and frequent the place?
So, we live on a cape. There's 3 sides of water here.
Oh, boy.
So, not very many people down here. There's 100,000 people in Cape May County in the wintertime. So, we're all feeding the same deer, basically. So, with all these breweries that are popping open here and there and all, it's tough to sustain in the wintertime because all the people know everyone. We all know each other, and the patrons all know the other breweries and all. So one day they could be in Bucket Brigade, next day they could be in Slack Tide, next day they could be in Gusto, next day. So we're, and then we have our regulars, and they have their regulars, but it's a tough struggle in the wintertime. Yeah,
and so I'm glad you mentioned that because, when I Google search kind of what's around you, there are other options. And I'm glad you, again, survived through that because we've had a similar thing here on Long Island that as things got a little harsh and tight, some of the ones that did not quite have that following to that moment did not survive this last wave in the last year, and we're seeing some closures throughout. Did the other ones in and around your area boat as well as you guys did?
So there was a handful of us that all stuck together and took care of each other through the COVID. Like the bigger, like Slack Tide's a bigger brewery than we are. They needed grains. We weren't producing as much. So, we would say, here's some grains, you know what I mean? But we had Crowler machine and we needed Crowler cans and lids. And they were like, okay, here's Crowler cans and lids. And all did whatever we had to do to make sure that we could survive through this.
Yeah, I remember that phase where Crowlers and Crowler lids were like a really hot commodity, so tough.
The Crowler machines.
The machines themselves, yeah.
Very hard to come by for a little while.
And then all of a sudden, who's the company that makes them?
October,
all of a sudden, out of nowhere on our social media started advertising the fact that they have so many Crowler machines available because they probably overproduced thinking that everyone's going to need them and not sure when this was all going to end. And now they're readily available. So you guys do not do a canning line, right? You guys pretty much are crowlering and bottling?
So we had the Crowler machine.
Yep.
And then a little I guess it's really more for home use. A little machine that does 12s and 16s, like the Crowler machine does.
Yeah.
And then we can them and put them in the door for takeout. And we just recently bought a new system, and we're in the process of putting it together now in the back and getting it squared away. We went from 3 barrels to 7 barrels.
Nice.
With 2 barrel fermenters, so we almost tripled our capacity. So now we'll be able to get the canning lines in here and do what we wanted to do before, which is get cans in people's hands, Jersey, and then hopefully maybe Pennsylvania.
And during that time, you guys were hand bottling and canning everything, hand labeling and all that other stuff?
Here for 3 and 4 hours, and we are longer, and just had a little assembly line and kept on rifling them out.
Wow.
So the machine screaming.
You had to do something with your time. We're where everyone's trapped inside. Let's go back to the brewery and can some stuff.
And you guys mentioned you were hoping to get into Pennsylvania. What can you guys do with distribution there? Can you self-distribute, or do you have to sign on with an established distributor to get your products out there?
Self-distribute. We're only in like maybe a handful or 2 of bars around here right now.
Mm-hmm.
We have one bar we're in Pennsylvania, Marty McGee's in Prospect Park. He's a Prospect Park fireman, and his dad was a Philadelphia fireman, so he was really he really wanted our beer up there in his place. So
cool.
We place up there in Pennsylvania, which we're trying to get our own state squared away before we go to Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Let's figure that out first. Wanted
to honor Joe over there because the firefighter heritage and all that. So we were fortunate to sign on with a distributor temporary and make an exception.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. I'm glad that worked out. We got a bunch of people checking in on Instagram Live. We got Heatmeister is checking in.
Yeah.
We got Sheila from Long Island. We got Crooked Feeder Brewing. We got Steve right next to me.
Hi.
Crispy Ham. Chris is hanging out from Circa. Danny Metal is checking in. Butch 618 is checking in.
Hey, Butch.
There's Jacob with a bunch of stuff after that I don't know how to say the rest of it. And Beer Guyver is checking in. A bunch of people saying hello. We're talking to Carl and Kurt from Bucket Brigade down in Cape May Courthouse, New Jersey. Guys, so you guys have been operating for 5 years. You've gone through hell at this point. Was it harder to be a fireman, or was it harder to be a brewer?
Be a brewer.
Yeah. See?
For him, when we were in the garage, we both brewed together. But when the business came, I became the business manager. I run the business. He brews the beer. It was easier that way because, being the fire chief, I ran the fire department. So it kind of came natural to do that. So both ways, it's been pretty daunting because, it's just the 2 of us. So, we went through some stuff. Let's put it that way. But it's nothing that we couldn't overcome that we haven't done in the fire service. It's just we're getting a little older now. So, the mind and the body can only tolerate so much.
Kirk, how many bales of grain have you lifted over your head in the last 3 months?
Too many. I don't want to count them.
How's the back holding up?
I'll tell you this, though, even though, you go home and you may have some aches and pains during it all, my age, it's very good exercise, believe it or not.
Sure.
It keeps me, limber enough to keep moving day in, day out and do this over and over and over again. Because if I was sitting at home and retired, I'd probably just be a blob.
Rotting. Yeah, no, it's the truth. I got my friend Danny and her husband Bags. They are from the upper New Jersey, Cape May area, and I believe they've been to your establishment, as well as many of the other ones down there, including Cape May and Beach House and a bunch of those. You guys see a huge influx over the summer. When does that season start, and when does that season tend to end?
So the real season starts right after the kids get out of school and right before July 4th.
Okay.
And then it goes all the way until that crowd of people until like September-ish. Then we get a whole nother different crowd of people that come down for the fall season that, come down to see the foliage or the birds or whatever. It's a whole different crowd. No, seriously, different crowd of people that come because they don't want to come in the summer and deal with young kids.
Yep.
And
I mean, who does? I have my own, and I don't want to deal with them.
It's yours.
Season, but it is a second season.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
cool.
it's got to be people who don't have kids or their kids are grown up, and now they're traveling. Now the kids are back. They know that the travel season's a little lighter. Things are not as packed. Beaches aren't as packed yet. The weather is still pretty decent where they can go out and have some fun. And like you said, I would imagine the foliage is nice. I don't think in New Jersey has the foliage. Because we're from New York, we go upstate and we're Vermont or whatever. And we're like, that's cool. But I'm sure people from even the southern parts of the state, maybe even down until Philadelphia area and stuff like that, will come up north just to see some of that happening. And again, it's probably a little bit of an older crowd, right, gentlemen?
Oh yeah, it's a whole. You're right. There's no kids involved, and they're down in historic Cape May, looking at the Victorian houses
Yep.
and the inn, and there's some cool things down in Cape May.
Yeah, Danny is checking in, the one I was just talking about. She said she was down there over the summer, loved the location, loved the beer, brought some to take home. So rave reviews from our local correspondent in the field. And she does go to AC Beer Fest, and she's been to a lot of the breweries in and around that northern New Jersey area. So I trust her input, her disclaimer on all of that. So there you go. You got one satisfied customer checking in really quick. Personal, first-hand response.
Surprise at the AC Beer Fest here. We have a new toy out back that we just acquired, and we're hoping that we take it up there and show it off.
Is it a fooder?
No. Would you
Is
guys
it a
get
cool ship?
Wait. Did you guys purchase a used fire engine or something?
Yes, we did.
I knew it.
Oh, nice.
I knew it. Awesome.
Is it getting turned into a tap truck?
Why you want to see it?
Oh, you got yes, yes, we do.
All right.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
you can bring it right out. Here we go. We can get a live tour of the brewery right here on the Wort. I forgot. We never really think about this when we have our remote people and they're zooming in, how we can get just a first-hand view of the brewery. We'll put it on screen for everybody. There you go, guys.
That's the new system. We're still putting it together and getting it squared away.
Nice little brew deck there. I like it. While you're doing this, tell us a little about the system. What do you got installed and what have you been working with right now?
So everything's ready to go. We're just waiting for some 3-phase.
Okay.
We got some glycol still has to be run and things like that.
If you lose Wi-Fi, we'll just stick with you until you jump back or jump on the 3G.
Look at
Look at
that.
That's a 1976 Mac.
Nice.
Wow. That's my son's
Look at
name,
the-
by the way.
Does it still run?
Oh yeah,
Nice.
That is awesome.
a brewery.
How's
We got this-
the engine? How's the parts? How's the frame and everything? Everything's in good shape.
Yeah, it looks in good shape, man.
There's our logo right there.
Oh, you got
Very
that.
cool.
Looks nice. Look at that.
Engine 1. So yeah, so we're gonna do it up, have taps out of it, and
Nice.
You
act-
already told Bree about you bringing the fire truck down.
we're gonna bring it. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
That's what AC Fest is about, right?
That's right.
That's right, man.
There's
Hell
a-
of high water. You're bringing the goddamn rig.
Bringing the
There's a
rig.
company on Long Island. A couple guys had purchased the fire truck and
Yeah.
they turned it into a pizza oven.
A pizza oven.
And
Yes.
I had it at a party. Damn good fucking pizza.
Really?
Out of a
It's
fire
just a
truck.
mod, right? I would assume
Yeah.
they're just trying to take all the guts
got
out.
it
Why
and
not?
put a pizza oven in it. But
All right, so while you guys in the
Damn
brew
good
house,
pizza.
run us down that equipment really quick. Sorry, we were kind of in and out, but I want to see the truck. So what are you
So-
guys working with here?
So that's the hot liquor tank.
Mm-hmm.
That's a control panel.
What company did you guys go with?
So we went with a company outside of this country. It was the only way we could be able to afford to do this.
Sure.
Most of it comes to this country anyway from there. So
There you go.
there's the grinder and the chute, the mash. Just a work grant down here.
Nice,
go.
man.
Clean it. Got some pumps all through here and the piping, and you got your plate chiller, your hop back, then the fermenters, bright tank.
Man, once you guys get that really going, you're going to be so happy 'cause you're going to have so much more beer.
It's so much more fun. And a lot less work, one or two batches to replace the 4 or 5 that they're doing, probably.
Yeah.
and a lot of options
There's a
of what type of beer they could
Little
make.
shot of the brewery.
Yeah, so
Something
so the shots I saw online and the stuff that I see on the internet, you guys have a lot of memorabilia, stuff that's been going on in the area, in the town. Tell us a little about the collection of all this stuff as you're going through it.
So up here on this shelf, these are all Cape May County mugs. They're all Cape May County plaques from different fire departments that gave them to us and all.
Cool.
The wood thing here was given to Kurt and I on our 50th birthday as a gift from a friend.
Ah.
You have the flag over here, which is from the Cape May Lewis ferry that they sunk, the MV Twin Capes, because a lot of the memorabilia, the wood and different things, brass in here and all, is all from there.
That's cool.
Like the station bill from the boat.
That's really
another,
cool.
Some of the stuff we took off the boat. So like down here where Kurt's standing, the brass is off the handrails of the Twin Capes. I mean, they spent $58 million on that boat. So it was really ornate.
Yeah.
The decking, this is all teak wood.
Get out of
that's
here.
a
That's,
cool bar
that's
top.
fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, bar top's all teak wood, all the way across. Then you come back behind where the crowler machine is and all, still more teak wood. But the front here, if you look at this front here, where I'm trying to get my finger where I'm pointing.
Yep.
This was the map table, the captain's map table, and these were the two cleanouts in front of the sink where he would do his erase, sweep them out and all that stuff. Yeah. That's all mahogany.
That's really
so.
How'd you get your hands on all that? Was that something that people were willing to donate to you, or was it something that went up on an auction? How'd you get that access?
Well, we're 14 generation to live here, so somebody made a phone call and said, "Hey, I might want to work here." And we went to the police, the DRBA police department, and they asked for my ID, and we handed them a couple Homeland Security cards we had, and within 2 weeks we were on the boat stripping the stuff off. So
that's awesome. So they sunk that boat. For the people that do not know, Cape May ferries run between the mainland and the Cape that comes out. We'll say the peninsula of Cape May, right?
So it runs right across from Cape May to Lewis, Delaware. It's about a 70-minute boat ride.
Right. So it's something that still runs today, though, pretty much. It's not like something that had run and they just upgraded their boats. See that right there? That's probably one of the most important things we ever got right there. You know what that is? I saw you holding that up in one of your posts. Yeah, tell us a little bit about that. That's a drum head off the bass drum, the Camden County Admiral Society Pipe and Drums. Kurt and I are in another pipe band here, and we're honorary members of that band. And for our for the 4th anniversary, they took the drum head off and gave it to us. Only been 5 ever given out.
That's awesome.
That is cool.
It's a big honor right there. We're really proud of that. Now, you guys don't play in the band itself. You're honorary members, you said, right? No. I did play the bagpipes. I can't play them anymore. Oh, there you go. That's what I was getting at. You're a piper. Yeah, I was, but I had to give it up. I'm going to go back over here. My lungs aren't the greatest what they anymore. Used to be. And so my fingers right there. And so now we're playing the drums, Kurt and I. Nice. Oh. We're both playing the drums in both bands, so it's a lot of fun. We do a lot of stuff. We got the fire truck. We got the Kurt. We got the bands. We're in this. We got that. We got the brewery. We're all over the place. This is a busy season for pipe bands for sure. They start getting booked probably end of February, and they'll go through the end of March. So you're talking about Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Well, maybe not so much Friday, but definitely Saturdays and Sundays. So there'll be 8 to 10 days in the month of March where the pipers will have to be in a town and then maybe in a second town that same day for parades and all the hoopla that goes into this time of year. Are you guys have that busy schedule coming up? Are you guys going to be part of all that? 10 days. 10 days. Yeah, so Saturday we were up at the Scottish Rite Ballroom in Collingswood with the Camden County Admiral Society Pipe and Drums for their annual big fundraiser event. Cool. Saturday we'll be North Wildwood Parade. We'll be here at the Bucket Brigade. We'll be at Kicks in Sea Isle City. And then, a couple other places. And then Sunday we're on a ferry across to Milton, Delaware to Irish Eyes. We'll be playing over there. And then we come back, and then we have a bunch of stuff scheduled for the 17th. Very cool. I mean, it's got to be so busy. And now you're running a brewery. You guys have families and lives, and you're going to be running around doing this. Do you have other people working at the brewery for you, people that can step in at least during operating hours, beer tenders, managers, stuff like that? We do. We're fortunate that we have real good friends and family that people that are retired and different things. And
and they just they like being here. They like being out. They like seeing people and all, and they run the place like it's their own. So
That's
we're very
awesome.
fortunate.
Yeah, it's great that you can actually trust people to kind of step in when you're going to be out and about.
And it's, sometimes it's hard to come by. You think you can trust people and, they do things behind your back. But when you got those truly honest that really care like it's their own, man, you can't thank them enough.
We lost him for a minute there. Maybe he ran out of battery power. He's going to jump back in just a minute. But, I mean, for what you guys – and he's just connecting, so I'll wait for him. For what you guys are doing, it's an enormous undertaking. People don't realize, as I was saying before, what goes into actually owning and operating a brewery. So you start a brewery, and as you just heard from the gentleman, it is more difficult to operate and own the brewery than it was to be a fireman and battling, forest fires out west and coming back here and being the captain. That's something to be said. And like I said, so you want to own a brewery, huh?
Look at what it did to Charlie.
Yeah,
I know.
Charlie's 28 years old.
God damn it!
Made me younger.
you got to him.
Made me younger.
Yeah.
It made you younger.
It made him younger for now.
He was smart enough,
For now.
like Carl was saying, to get younger steeds? Sure. Younger people.
Yes.
I was going to say the young lads, but
younglings.
to kind of help out with everything. I mean, Charlie, you have a successful business on Long Island. You guys are in, and we'll talk about the voting a little later on the hopscotch beer bracketology. I want to talk about that tonight. But, you have a strong connection to local fire department, police, first responders. Tell us a little about your experience with your brewery and how that connected to the community.
Well, what we did is right now we have two of my bartenders are both volunteer firemen, one in Blue Point, one in Holbrook. And then it just happened that my partner, his brothers are FDNY. And we used to do when they used to have the ski races up in Hunter Mountain to benefit the FDNY Burn Center at Stony Brook, we would always make a donation to that. And we did it for many years until Hunter got sold. We also did a collaboration with the Holbrook Fire Department and produced a wheat beer called Signal 8.
Yes. Yeah,
and
we're
we bring it out.
That.
It'll probably be on the schedule to be brewed sometime in the spring so that it's ready for its summer run.
Yeah, for sure.
And we started putting up, the Holbrook Fire Department gave us, the badge and the hat and, stuff. And then the next thing you know, we're getting people coming in from, we had all the we have NYPD, FDNY people, everybody in all the firehouses volunteering all over the place, all over the country. I have stuff as far away as Dublin, Ireland, that they come and they see and they say, I'll send you something. And the next thing you know, in the mail comes the badges. And
I mean, you guys have them everywhere.
It plasters at least a couple of walls.
Not right now, because the brewery has undergone a renovation. After 5 years, the tasting room needed to be redone.
Yeah.
Little facelift.
Yeah, facelift. So the
Charlie's
badges
had 17 of them.
The badges will go back up very shortly.
Cool.
Awesome.
But,
Cool.
It's a credit to all the first responders out there, because I have a cousin who's a lieutenant in the FDNY. My niece is a paramedic up in, right now she's on maternity leave, but she was up in Washington Heights. I have another cousin who's in NYPD. So, and
Hello.
we have a lot of, cross relationships with all of that. So I
We
know
have,
what these guys do.
I want to pick that up. We have somebody on the phone. This is the Word with Mike, Pete, and Steve. Who is this?
Yeah, my name is Jerry. I'm in Delaware. I left message on your chat
Nice.
so that you can call into a Delaware radio show that really is interested in breweries. He's called Rick Jensen.
Okay.
Are
Are you part of the show, or are you just?
I'm a longtime fan of his
cool.
show.
Cool.
And so on your chat,
Yeah.
just look at it. All the information is there.
Cool. I'll check it out. Jerry,
Okay,
thanks a lot for calling in, man. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Don't be a stranger, sir.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Hey, there you go. Someone's listening. Someone's calling
New
in.
state, Delaware.
Back, right? Hi.
Hey,
Ran out of battery?
no, my daughter keeps calling.
Don't you know I'm doing a show? All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a little segment called Steve's Questions. It has a little bit of an intro with music. So let's do that, and then we got some questions for you guys, very specific to beer itself. So we're going to first do that, and then we'll get right back with Steve's 3 questions.
Hey, you cool hep cats. Tonight, we bring you a very special presentation. 3 questions with our very own Steve Pominski. Yeah. Steve's questions. 3 questions from Steve. 3 questions. Steve's questions go.
Do you like
to do it
Do you like
every
the
time.
end? Do you like the end of it? I go, Steve's questions go.
And
Just go.
go. All right, gentlemen. All right, I have 3 questions for you. We're going to start with just 1 question at a time. They're not hard questions. We love to see what brewers from around the United States and wherever we talk to them, what got them where they are today. So, starting off, and you guys could choose whoever wants to go first. What was that one beer that you said, what's this craft beer all about? I need to find out more about craft beer. What was that one beer you had and you said, wow, this is not Miller Lite, this is not Coors?
Do I have to really say?
Yes, you do.
Is it somebody else's beer?
Because Cape May Brewery was the first brewery to open here in Cape May County, so it was the Cape May Centennial IPA.
Oh, okay.
That's a
For me,
well-known one.
It was the Honey Porter.
Oh,
From Cape May?
Yeah.
From Cape May.
Oh, so you guys obviously had like a local establishment. Like when we grew up here on Long Island, when we had the brewery craze, we did not have them in every town like we do now.
we have Blue Point.
I was
We had Blue Point.
Blue
Yeah.
Point.
We have Blue Point.
So when we do interview some local guys here, we
Point,
usually get
Long
that as a
Island.
very common answer for sure. Brooklyn sometimes, but then they go with some of the big boys. But actually, that's really indicative of New Jersey is the fact that Cape May was the one that turned a bunch of people on and probably spawned a number of breweries to do what they're doing
Well,
today.
especially where they're living. I mean, like they were saying, they're surrounded on 3 sides. You only have so many places you want to go,
Yeah.
and if there's a brewery close to you, you're going to that brewery.
That's right.
All right. And I've been to Cape May. I've had many of their beers, brought a bunch home with us.
Yeah, for sure.
So, very nice. Second question. What's your favorite style? And it could be as of right now, because everybody's, I know some days I'm into stouts, and then all of a sudden I'm on the haze craze, and then I'm on the crispy boy craze.
And it also helps that, seasonal beers come out. And
Yes.
you're like, oh, yeah, I got to have all of this, for the next 3 months.
Well, for me, I'm a dark beer drinker. I like dark beer.
Yes.
You my man.
So we talk about porters, stouts.
Yeah. Yep. Scottish ale.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello. Pete's head just popped up like
Scotch ale.
Scottish.
But in the summertime, I like to drink a nice, refreshing, like Kurt makes a mango hef, which is really good.
Oh, nice.
And I like
Yeah.
Mango hef. I like the way that sounds.
That does sound good.
it's really good.
Kurt, what about you?
So I flip all over depending on the day, what I feel like drinking, because obviously I make it. So
Sure.
depends on what I feel like tasting and going, that's what I feel like today, So
Okay.
I kind of mix around. If I had to say right now for our St. Patty's party, I'm probably going to drink porter
Nice.
or Scottish.
Oh, there he goes again.
Yes. Love the Scots.
Love it. Love it.
Awesome. I'm sure it does well there, too, because of the ties into firefighting, and there's Irish roots there, especially with the Bay Piper, with the piping band and stuff. So that's awesome. And you got an O'Toole here that would has some ties to the old UK for sure.
Also making red, so that'll be on tap too.
Ooh, you make a red.
Yep.
Oh, we are right now drinking Charlie's Irish style red ale.
Yeah,
That's what's in the glasses.
I have some beer up there, but with everything with the renovation.
Oh no, it's
It just-
fine. Don't worry about it. Listen. It's tough with people in remote We try, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And listen, we'll be at AC Beer Fest, we'll be drinking, so
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it. Hopefully we'll have a tap off the side of that fire truck.
Hopefully we'll be sucking it right off the side of that engine.
Just give him a hose.
Yeah.
Steve's doing his workout. He's already training right now for AC Beer Fest.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait. And the final question, you go out somewhere, you go to a bar or restaurant, what's that one beer other than your own that you want to see on tap?
Well, that's a good question. Me, I like. I mean, and I'm going to go with a local brewery. I mean, I've been all over this country. I've drank beer all different places, and I've had good beer and I've had some of that. But me personally, if I'm going out around here, which because I don't get away too much, I'm here more than often. I would like to see Slack Tide's Monkey Face.
Oh, Slack Tide, nice.
Yeah. What's the style on Monkey Face?
I believe it's a stout.
It is.
Oh, okay.
It is.
Sticking with the dark beer, yeah.
Yeah. I like that beer.
Yeah. Kurt?
So we're, when you own your own brewery, I don't think people understand you want to get out of here because you work here. They think you just want to sit here all day long, but I want to go somewhere else. So when I go somewhere else with my wife, it's usually where there's a place where they have food because she wants to eat, which becomes Mudhead Brewery. And I really like his Holly Beach wheat. He makes a good wheat beer.
Oh, nice.
That's a good one. Now, with that said, do you guys offer any food selections? I know I didn't see a kitchen in around, but do you have food trucks? Do you have order-ins? What are you guys working on for food?
So by law, the license is a limited brewery license. It's for manufacturing. We're not allowed to serve food per se. They allowed us to do little prepackaged stuff that you can buy, but basically we're not allowed to have food. You can bring all the food you want, and you can order food, but we're not allowed to serve you food.
So if I bought a pizza and walked in with it, I'm allowed to eat it there?
We tell people bring as much food as you can.
Bring all of the food.
Bring enough to share.
I used to tell people they would call into the brewery, they're like, oh, you guys allow food? Like, yes. And if it's really good food, we ask you to bring extra so the guys behind the bar and the guys that are working can maybe have a little bit. And we've had guys walk in because the White Castle was down the road.
Oh, yeah.
And walk in with a crave case and just put it on the bar and go, here,
everyone,
whoever wants it. So, thank you.
Yeah.
But then later it was not thank you.
The one bathroom in the brew house is not thanking you.
Yes.
For sure. You guys have had a number of styles, it seems like. What's on the board right now? Give us a little breakdown of the styles that you guys have to offer if someone were to walk in there today.
Oh, geez, we got the cream ale, we got the accent amber ale, we got our Liberty Bell ale. Let me come over here. Let me see what I got because I got to remember. That's it. Let's see what we got.
There we go. Live tap lists here on the Wort.
Nice.
Wow, look at all those handles. Hold on. We need to address this. How many handles do you have on that tap system?
18.
18.
wow.
Are they all yours?
All ours.
Wow. Holy
So
shit.
you have.
Well, no wonder you couldn't rattle them off like it was nothing.
You got cream and axe, and then you got our Pride Bar IPA, Liberty Bell Ale, the Crooked Creek Kolsch, the Sledgehammer
Saison.
Saison,
There we go.
the Smoke Damage IPA, Black IPA is really good.
Yeah!
Black IPA. You said the magic word.
You
Bing,
said
bing,
the magic
bing.
word. Wait. I
Bing,
got
bong.
a sounder for that.
Oh man, Kolsch, Saison.
Yes, love a black IPA. One of my favorite styles.
Halligan Bar Hefeweizen, the Irish Brigade Red Ale, the Ignition Source IPA, the Franklin's Colonial IPA,
Wow.
False Alarm ESB,
Scotch ale.
the Scotch Bonnet Scottish Ale, the Pump Prime Porter, and these are cream and axe again at this end because they're our most popular ones.
Yeah.
So we have them.
Yeah, if your beer tenders are busy and they don't have to be standing waiting around for anybody.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
All the taps had this bucket on the top, but we took most of them off.
Gotcha.
was
So
easier.
those are all custom-made handles. Are you guys making those? Are they being what's the essence of what those handles are all about?
So I have a fireman in Delaware that makes them on the side.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
cool. I don't know if you heard, but there was a gentleman named Jerry that just called into the show before. I know sometimes the Zoom, you can't hear the phone calls back.
No.
But he let us know that he dropped us a thing in the chat about a radio show down in Delaware that you might want to check out. I'll forward you the information if I get it, and they seem to have like an FM station, not an internet station, that might help you out a little bit. Get on there, do a little promotion that way too. I
Oh,
always
nice
like to help
tables
everyone out.
outside.
Yeah,
Here's
look
our
at
patio
this.
out front.
Nice.
The patio out front here where we can sit and enjoy ourselves.
Now, during the summer, this must be rocking and rolling, right? You have the garage door windows there.
Check that out.
Nice, man. How far are you guys from Cape May Brewery?
So we're probably about 12 miles.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, that seems like a
We're-
destination.
We're in the heart of the town. We're,
Right.
we're
Okay.
in the heart of Cape May County. We're right at the county seat.
Yeah. So when people come, I mean, like you were saying before, it seems like it's a destination. People are bopping all over the place and kind of jumping through. Good responses, nothing crazy about, the tours and stuff. Is there something in New Jersey where they have bus tours like we have here on Long Island where people can get dropped off and then picked up and go to the next brewery, like a brewery hop or something?
Yeah, they have South Jersey brew tours, and most people rent jitneys and do it on their own.
Oh, okay.
We used to have one in Cape May County, but that one since it has folded, which he should have kept it, but
Was that COVID related or just personal reasons, I guess?
personal reasons.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like a right place. You guys have a lot of breweries in the area. Again, beach town,
Yeah.
good seasonal destination, something to check out. I know for sure. That's awesome. It's getting a little after 9. I didn't want to leave you guys for too long. I know you have somewhere to be. I want to give you an opportunity to give us a big breakdown and a big plug for the brewery. Tell people where you can find information about the brewery, location, and all that other good stuff so it gets out there.
All right, so I just wanted to say that we didn't mention is we're the only brewery or establishment that I know of that they tell us that's affiliated with the National Fallen Firefighter Foundation in Emmitsburg, Maryland. We have
I know exactly where that is. I went to school at Mount St. Mary's.
Okay, so we have an agreement with them that whenever we use we can use their logo on different products, shirts, the cans, whatever, and then a portion of the proceeds goes to the National Fallen Firefighter Association. So
That's
we've
awesome.
been we've paid homage to our brothers and sisters during the week that they pay to the families and survivors and all that stuff. So we're very proud of that. That means a lot to us that we can raise funds for them and that they would even ask us to be a part of that. And the fire truck will have something with the National Fallen Firefighter Foundation on it. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's something that you guys obviously are very passionate about. It's a great give back to the community and the families. And what better way than to, just kind of enjoy with the community, a place to hang, a place to drink, a place to communicate and network, and at the same time all joining in for a common goal of honoring those people for sure.
Yeah, so you got to remember, to us, this is the firehouse.
Yeah.
Even our brewery and all, I'll say to my wife, I'm going to the firehouse. And she's like, you've been retired for 5 I'm like, you know where I'm going. I'm going to the brewery.
She gives you that eye like, you're not going back to work, are you? You didn't put your papers back in, did you? No, I'm going to brew beer.
So we're very passionate about it for sure.
And you guys' families have full support? Everyone's on board since day one?
Well, my wife kind of thought this was just a little hobby, and I think Kurt's wife did too. And, she was swinging deals like her and her brother wanted to have a coffee business. And I said, well, I want to have a brewery business with my brother. And she didn't think what happened. And she went, okay, if you give me the coffee business. I went, okay. And since then, the coffee business has been sold and the brewery's still here. So.
Nice.
Well, I'm glad you guys made it through the storm of these last few years. Everyone's got to go check it out. Give us the big plug, where people can find you and where they can come visit for sure.
So we're located at 205 North Main Street. It's right off exit 10 at GSP. It's where you can't miss us. You turn at the light, Stone Harbor Boulevard, it's going south on Route 9, and we're the 4th building on the right. It looks like a mini Chicago firehouse. It's bright red. You saw it.
Yeah.
Black outline and everything and all. If you miss us, you must be blind. I don't know.
It's bright and red, and you, like you said, can't miss it.
And there's usually shenanigans going on, so you should be able to find.
I would probably be silly to guess, but do you have axe throwing events?
No, we don't do that.
Can you do that in New Jersey? Is it something where
I was out west. I did that. We would throw the plaskies in the trees until the bee manager came along and said, "You're ruining the forest."
Well, gentlemen, really appreciate the time you gave us tonight. Awesome place, and we were very excited to come hang out with you in AC Beer Fest upcoming here on June 4th and 5th of 2022. Again, we were there last year, and it was awesome. It's outdoors. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun, and we'll definitely have you back on the show and enjoy some beer and hang out with you guys.
For sure. Yeah, that's a great event. If people haven't got their tickets yet, John Henderson, he runs a great event. He's been doing it now. What's 12th one or 13th one? I don't know what it is, but it's a great event. Get your tickets. Come see us. We hope to have Engine 1 there. And,
Yeah, man.
Nice.
little shenanigans going on, so come see us.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Definitely.
Carl
We can't
Kurt,
thank-
Bucket Brigade Brewing Company, Cape May Courthouse, New Jersey. Check them out. Appreciate it, guys.
Guys,
for coming
thank you
on,
so
guys.
much.
Take care.
All right. That was pretty fun.
I knew they had an engine.
Yeah. You
As
just
soon
knew
as
it.
they were like, "Oh yeah, we got something we're gonna show," I'm like, "Joe, son of a bitches, they got an engine. I know they do."
So I definitely heard some great feedback from Danny and Beggs down in New Jersey prior to when I released the flyer.
I wish I would have known. I went to Cape May last year with the
Right.
wife.
Oh yeah.
And we went like kind of the end of the year. It was right after like the summer was over, so there was like not a lot of people around. It was great. We went to Cape May Brewing and a couple of little breweries right there.
Yeah.
Never.
12 miles away. You know what it is? That's what's so
Especially with
great
18
about.
taps.
That's the great thing about
Really good
festivals.
styles, too.
Scottish Ale.
Black IPA, Saison.
Saison.
Porter.
Friggin' ESB.
Yeah, I mean, just right up and down the line. That'd be a lot of fun. But that's a great thing about festivals, right? That's why we still do go to festivals, because there are places that you don't know about. You walk by, you taste something, you go, what is this? And where are you? And that's how a lot of their
Or-
business can get.
You get a real opportunity to punch a celebrity in the face.
Those opportunities don't present themselves
No,
often
I'm
enough.
hoping this year
Could be the year.
Okay, so now we're not going to be talking about any of that for sure. I shut your mics off. That's right. Neither one of you are going to be talking about doing that. And now listen, now that we have a fire truck that we can drink from, there's no reason we have to do that, right? Everything's good.
Or we can take the fire hose out
Or
and unleash it on a certain celebrity.
there you
Oh
go.
my goodness. You guys are crazy. Charlie,
Yeah.
thank you very much. So first reactions to the gentleman over at Bucket Brigade.
I get down there someday, definitely going to check them out because
Yeah.
that fire truck's got to be looking awesome.
Yeah.
That what we saw between the brew house, the fire truck, the establishment, they got everything, all the check boxes that you want out of a brewery when you go down there. So definitely check those guys out. Charlie, I want to. Did we ever ask Charlie 3 questions? I'm not going to replay the music.
You know,
I don't think so.
I feel like
No,
we
Steve
kind of
never
skipped
did.
over that.
Yeah.
You know
Last
what?
time.
Well, the last time he was on was with
Lost Farmer,
Yes.
and we had 3 of them already, or 2 of them, or 3 of them.
Shoot him.
So yeah, maybe we didn't get to them. Maybe we didn't go through that. So you want to ask Charlie some questions really quick,
Well, see,
since we have him here?
I think I'm gonna in my head I'm gonna guess.
They don't
and
make
see if they were-
Carlsberg
Text
anymore.
me your answers.
They-
What do you think he's going to say?
It's gonna be the George Washington Ale, which George Washington brewed himself.
Lions Brewing Company
Oh,
in
man.
Manhattan that didn't exist anymore.
No, all right. So yeah, you know what? And things change.
Yeah,
People's-
yeah.
So
I don't
Charlie,
think anyone's ever heard his 3 questions.
what
So
what was? I mean, obviously it was hard to get beer back in the Revolutionary War.
Yeah, it was tough.
But what back in the day, or even more recently, what was that turned you on to craft beer? Because we all know you have the history of your dad, and that wasn't really considered craft. It was considered beer, and everybody drank it, and and that's what you drank.
You basically had then it was an ale. Wrangled had a Wrangled ale, a Scotch ale, a Bock beer during the fall, and the regular Wrangled beer.
yeah,
What got me into like craft beer itself was the IPAs. You know,
Those traditional West Coast IPAs.
The
Well,
traditional
well,
West Coast style.
Do you remember that one that you were like,
IPA.
Jesus Christ, I need to get more of this?
Racer 5?
Oh yeah,
Beer
Bear.
Republic.
I would say
Beer
Beer
Republic.
Republic, but it's Bear Republic. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I love that beer, man. That used to be great.
Yeah.
I haven't had it in a while. I haven't really seen it around.
Yeah, I used
New
to get
York.
it at not Swallow. What's the one in Huntington? That starts with
Swift-
an S.
Sapsuckers?
Sapsuckers. I used to get Sapsuckers. Because when I looked through the list, that was like, oh, you don't see that often. You don't see it on the shelves, and you very rarely see it on tap. So that's one I do go for when I'm there. That's a good beer. That's
Yeah.
definitely a good beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, our airfield was similar to that. It was a West Coast. Well, it's a new. It was a West Coast. It was our first West Coast IPA. I picked the hops. John picked the the malt part of the recipe. I wanted 5 hops with the letter C.
Okay.
Citric Cascade, Centennial, Columbus, and Chinook.
Those beautiful seas.
Yeah. So, and it was remade. We remade it just recently, canned it, and people were like, "Wow, you guys haven't had this out here in years. This is great."
It's good every so often to bring back one of those beers that you haven't done in a while because either
Yep.
one, you've been doing so many other things and you haven't had the chance. But you bring back that old reliable, and people are like, "Oh shit, I remember this. This is fucking good beer."
And you get to introduce new people, too.
yeah, again, yeah.
To honor some continued traditions, we're bringing back, and it's being canned. The label is being designed. Change at Jamaica.
Ah, okay.
Classic.
Black IPA.
Mikey.
Boom. Hey, what do you say there, Mikey? Mikey, I'm a fan. And a little black IPA there, Mikey. I love it. I love a good black IPA. There's, to me, not many styles that I can drink consistently. That is one of them. And I know I can drink 3, 4, 5 of them and not even feel like it's heavy.
Is like that the third one now that we
What, black IPA?
black IPA that we've been Eleanor came back,
Right.
and it shows its face every so often.
Well, Bucket just had one.
Bucket has one. Charlie's bringing.
And then there was somebody recently that just had one that we talked about. Was it Springs was thinking about one? No, I asked them about it, and they said, we'll
it's
think about it."
hard.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah, is it though?
No, it's not. It's not. They're not.
It's not hard.
No,
It's-
I'll just make it so I can drink it.
Yeah.
It's hard to sell to people not named Mikey.
Right, that's a good point.
Well, that's it.
There you go.
We had somebody would come in and buy 8 crowlers of it.
See?
Jesus.
See, I make up a 5%
And it-
share
and-
of the market, right? It's just me, myself, and
2
I.
weeks later, he'd be back in. He'd be drinking it, and then he'd take 8 crowlers home with him.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
You'd have to drink I mean, they can,
So-
shelf life
Well,
2 or 3 weeks?
With a black IPA, it will last a little longer.
Yeah.
Because of the malt profile, you get that little bitterness.
Yeah.
And depending on the ABV.
Right.
Where the hazies, they
7-1.
they could easily drop
Yeah,
out.
7-1 is perfect. This is 13. I'm going to hold off.
I was going to say, God, are
No,
we
no,
doing
no,
that?
That'll be all that.
Those are both.
Oh, they're
13s.
both. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
No. Yeah. I think I might have to crack one.
You got that? We got.
No,
this
I
over.
tried one of each one of
Okay.
those. I'm good. I only got
Dude,
two.
the Starboard Down smells amazing, Charlie.
It is delicious.
It's really good. It smells fan-fucking-tastic.
At 6-1,
Love
very good. Very, very good. I love red ales.
And I apologize. I cannot drink anything today. I'm having some things done to me tomorrow. So
take it home.
Steve's becoming a
for
eunuch.
later.
I
We're all
can't-
excited
He's
for
becoming
him.
a eunuch?
Yeah. Yep. We're all excited for him.
Oh, I can't wait. It's gonna be a gas.
Holy balls. Did you have to do 2 full crowlers of this? Oh, my God. All right, listen, we got to break some of these down.
I figured
dark.
somebody would take the other one home.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I mean, I've been having trouble sleeping lately.
Not tonight.
no.
We started with the blueberry.
Yeah.
So this is a blueberry ale. It's on a sour. It's not over the top.
It's
It
a
doesn't
straight-
hit you in the face with blueberry. Give us a little breakdown of this beer.
Well, we decided this whole started when one of the beers we were brewing on the old system, the yeast didn't do what we wanted it to do. So we were able to transfer some into a fresh tank and add a similar batch with fresh yeast, and that
Saving it, baby.
Kinda
Blend it.
Saving it.
So we had about 3.5 barrels left, and my son said, "I got an idea," and I said, "What's that?" He says, "Go out and get me 70 pounds of blueberries."
Oh yeah, they got that at Home Depot, right?
Yeah, no.
just
So
get 'em.
I go to Restaurant Depot. I get they're looking at me as I'm loading
Fresh blueberries?
the frozen ones.
Okay.
Frozen.
Oh, okay.
Got to be you had to have at that time frozen. So I said, "Okay, this is going to be fun." He says, "Yeah, just put them in when you get them." I go, "Well, this is a 4-inch opening in the fermenter top.
How big?
I'm on a ladder, 14 trips, putting the stuff in."
No,
And-
what is it? Is it like those individual ones you get at the supermarket? No, the blueberry packages.
Oh no, this
they're
comes
big.
in a big bag.
Oh my goodness.
So you were able to cut the bag and then pour it in.
Okay,
Cut the you
but
know.
there's 14 of them.
Yeah. So it turned out that eventually the color from there went into the thing, and we, tested around the entire tasting room. And when people would, here, try this. Tell me what you think. They liked the color, they liked the flavor and everything. And then we had to go clean the fermenter.
Oh, yeah.
And
You
how
ever
is
try
that-
to get
that was the one
70
thing I was-
pounds of blueberries out? No.
Especially since they were in liquid and they start to swell a little bit.
Oh, they
they
get
get
big,
stuck.
huh?
Yeah. So we always had to put it in the fermenter the 1.5 barrel that had the manway.
Okay.
Well,
Which
after
is
a while,
for people that
I
don't
said,
know, that's basically a filter, so it doesn't drop all the way down and clog the system.
Well, I remember the first tanks you had, the only way to get into it was through the top.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
So the manways, it's sideways, so it's right in front of you. You can
Oh.
open it.
Yeah, you could
and
open
then
the
now you
manway
can
from the
scoop
top.
out.
Okay.
But from the top,
You can't do that.
What do you need? Just a big pole? Just one by one, scoop them out?
all right, I'm going to hold you by your ankles. And
Oh, well,
So we decided after that once we went, sort of like when we were at the 5 barrels, still with the 5 barrel system, we said we got to find a better way
this gonna
because
be
we were
Anthony from
having
Farmingdale?
trouble sourcing this stuff. So we found a puree, organic puree that we were bringing in from a place. Well, as you know, with the current supply chain issues, they're 4 weeks behind, and the beer was already brewed. So we found a new supplier
okay.
out of a state down south, and it's this is a little lighter color
Okay.
than what we normally. So we're going to adjust probably what we add. And it's this. Otherwise, it's the same beer.
Yeah.
And it's a big hit. We have one of the guys. I won't say who he works for, but he comes in and he says, "How much you got left? How much you got left?" And he goes like, "I'm going to buy a case." And he takes a whole case home.
Does he work for a brewery?
he works for Spider-Bite down
Yeah,
the bar.
is it Larry?
He works for the same company he does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ah, I see where this is going. It doesn't have a knock you over sweetness, which is great. It's a dry blueberry taste, and it's got the ale profile there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good balance. I like it. I like it. And I'm not typically a blueberry fan. Like, I originally loved Blue Point's blueberry, right? Back in
Yeah.
the day when I was
Yeah.
young and my palate was like wild, and I'm like, yeah, just shove anything in there. I'm not so much on that. No, I'm to my palate.
Shove anything in there.
Whatever floats your boat, Mike.
You said it, O'Toole.
What I liked about this is that it's almost like an ale first, then the blueberry.
Yeah.
It's on the back end, which is perfect.
Yeah.
Well,
which is
you,
the way I would
you,
like
you
it.
definitely made Peter happy because when he saw it, he's like, thinking sour.
Sours, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, again, other than
no.
Blue Point,
Yeah.
a
Everything
blueberry,
was blueberry
it's
sour.
always been sour.
Yeah. Now, what was the essence for the can art? We got
I dig it. It's
Rosie the Riveter. And,
Well, it's like old school tattoo
yeah.
also.
Squeezing those blueberries.
That's I see.
And the 40s, sticking
Yeah.
with somewhat of the 40s theme.
sapphire
yeah.
squeeze with that blue toned stone.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, all makes sense. All ties in nice.
Yep.
And you guys have been producing a ton of different styles. So this is a great addition to the portfolio at this point, right? You haven't.
Yeah, this is the second. What you're seeing is this was freshly canned Sunday.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
There you go.
So that was actually yesterday. You know, you got to excuse the 170 years thinking. But
Sunday.
we canned it Sunday, and
He's just
here it is.
he's still thinking about candles and churning butter.
Yeah.
He's got
More butter.
more butter.
No, he's thinking about, all right, put the ball in first, then you shove the and then the cannon goes.
Yeah, but
Go, go, go.
that shaft has to be nice and smooth.
Oh, here we go with the chef.
And you need the wire bristle brush to
yeah,
clean out all
got to
the.
clean that out. You know.
clean out the hole.
Then we had Starboard, and Starboard is that Irish style red ale that Pete and I both looked at like, yep, this is right up our alleys. Love a
Starboard
good red. So this has all of the elements of that traditional Irish red that people love. Give us a little insight into this one.
Well, it's what it is. It's an Irish red ale. It's a very deep red. Some people say it's not red. I says you got to hold it up to the light to see it.
That's what I
But
did
it is.
before.
It is that's it's a traditional Irish red ale.
It's hard to see the color in the backseat of my car.
You know,
Insert joke
It's
there.
a recipe I put together, and then they changed it. And what happened is they ended up coming out. It was too light, so that beer ended up being named something else.
When they got to change things on Charlie.
And then I turned around and said, "Now you learned the difference. Put my damn grain back in, and let's get this thing going." So that's
What was
we
the
have.
grain that was missing?
They tried to lighten up on the crystal malts, and it turned out too light.
Charlie, a bunch of people are checking in on Instagram. I meant to come over here and check this before, but Danny came back in. Craft Not Crap LI. There you go. Bucket Brigade said thanks a lot, and then they give it a little thumbs up. Tommy, our producer's checking in. Devil's Alibi Brewing Company. Blind Bat checking in.
Paul.
Anthony from Farmingdale is checking in.
Let's get Anthony from Farmingdale. That's probably him calling again.
No, I'm sure it is. This is the Word with Mike Pete and Steve GovsRadio.com. Who do we got on the phone?
Hi, Michael. It's Anthony from Farmingdale. How are you?
You don't have to, Anthony. You don't have to block your phone call for me not to take it. We were in the middle of a conversation. It was a bad time to do it. I was waiting for the opening, but I couldn't do it. Anthony,
I fucking knew it was you.
Good old Anthony from Farmingdale.
Michael, I'm on a time constraint. First of all,
Yeah.
when my father was dying, I told Charlie this story.
Yeah.
When my father was dying 10 years ago, he asked me to get a Bach beer for him. I spent 2.5, 3 hours looking all over Long Island. I finally found a Bach beer from Anheuser-Busch and gave it to my father. He drank it. I said goodnight to him, and the next day he passed.
Are we blaming the Bach? Is that where this is going?
No.
All right, good.
I called Charlie, ironically, 2 days ago and asked him if he would participate in April 7th festivities, and he said yes.
Well, his
So
daughter
he said-
is actually a stand-up comedian, and if she's available, I'm sure she'd be willing to come on the show.
Well, she could come on then. I'm paying everybody else, but I don't think she would get paid. She might be out of the budget, but I'll throw her on for 5 minutes. I don't care.
If she wants to get
can
the
hang out with
experience, offers out on the table. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, the office. You know what, Michael? I'll put her in the budget too. So,
See, there you go.
but
See, little twist of the
Charlie,
arm.
I mean that sincerely, but what I was trying to say is, ironically, Pete, you're a penis. That Charlie said he's got a red ale that he's just putting in production.
Yep.
And that's the beer that's coming out or came out on Sunday.
Yes.
And I'm hoping. Is it good, Mike?
Excellent. Do you want me to save you one?
Please, could you save me? I'll buy from Charlie, but Charlie said he would help us out that night. I wanted to make that beer kind of like a special thing for the night.
Oh, so you're saying like you want a beer brewed for the event?
No, what he's got now, just on like a half a keg, and let's pour it and have a little fun.
Or
with it,
maybe a
make
case
little
and they could sell it there. I got you. I see where you're going with this.
Yes.
All right.
So, and that's it. So that's what I would like to do, and that's why I called in. I do miss you all four of you very much, and I hope all four of you come hang out with us.
Thank you, Anthony from Farmingdale. We
That
have a
Anthony
special.
from Farmingdale, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
What a nice guy. Better than that fucking asshole Graz that we used to have come down in the show.
Don't even bring that name up.
It's a whole nother persona, which we like very much so. All right, we'll let you go. We're gonna start to move on through the beer here.
Hey, Graz, DM me.
Yeah, please. And guys, I know you guys got a great show. When are you going to go live somewhere? I know you were at Hopscotch with Mark And how
we're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. That's why I said we got to kind of move on here. We're moving fast tonight since we had Bucket at the beginning of the show. We want to squeeze as much as we can in tonight.
I'll leave you with this, Pete. When he calls my show, I let him on. He gets 15 minutes. He tells me when he wants to leave. I go on his show. I pick up the phone. He's like, "What do you want? Why are you calling?"
Don't call in here with a private number, sir.
You suck. Why are you sending a blocked number? I'm like, because I want to get on. No, we don't want you on. See you later, boys.
All right, later. That is not the truth. I don't mind him on, especially Anthony from Farmingdale's persona, and I had no time to put him in. So AM folders, I don't know what that is. They're saying hello. Brewhide Park, which by the way just started following us recently. They say what's up. Wizard Romney's on here, and of course,
Wiz. Hey, Wiz.
And TJ McBrews, as we know, great distribution up there in
Sound Beach.
Yeah, exactly, Sound Beach. Yep. So good stuff there. So I want to talk about that because Anthony from Farmingdale brought that up. Hopscotch Bottle Shop in Deer Park, New York, is doing its annual brewery bracketology.
Man, oh man.
Which
I fucking love it.
I
I
guess
found another brewery he forgot about.
Premiered.
there's
Wait, we'll get to
several.
that. Wait.
There's actually several.
Premiered last year, and it gained a lot of popularity on the social media, inner tubes, and ended up being a hit, both for the breweries themselves and of course for the bottle shop. So they entered it again into this year, and to start off, what they did was ask for people to nominate, kind of like the Best of Long Island idea, right? Just nominate somebody, we'll fit them in where we can fit them in. And once they filled out their bracket of 64, they shut it off. So as Pete was saying, and we were hearing, there's a bunch of breweries that were left off the list. Now, they can't take that personally. What I'm saying is, it's about nomination. So if people are following Hopscotch Bottle Shop and they know that the nominations went out there, they could have written in and kind of nominated that brewery. We don't want to see anybody left off, but there's only 64 slots.
I was just going to say, and I'm pretty sure I heard Mark was saying, if you got so many votes, like so many people nominated you, that might have put you ahead of someone else that just got left off.
Right.
Maybe got 5 nominations. This other brewery got 15. Well, they're in it.
Yeah, because it is a popularity
Yes, it
thing.
is.
Listen, we're not going to say this is a the top 5 brewers in the world. This is opinionated popularity voting for sure.
For sure,
Straight off the bat.
subjective. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So there's no hiding that idea. In that said, 2 breweries in the house tonight, Barrage and 1940s. Both hit that list in the bracket of 64 and made
it past round 1.
Made it past round 1. Charlie, we had your matchup, and so what was your round 2 matchup? I got to look back at it. Pete has the notes, but we'll kind of give you a little rundown on what we thought was going to happen. Oh, so all right, this is great. So we'll give our 2 cents, but we'll just say this before we start. Pete, Steve, and I did a video segment, about 20 minutes long, probably after editing, of the actual breakdown of all the second round picks. You're going to be able to check that out in clip form on Hopscotch's Instagram and social media, but we're going to produce and have the full video on our personal YouTube page. Every single podcast that we do also gets posted there in the next day or so. So we're live to Governor's Comedy Club podcast station on YouTube and Facebook, but later all the video gets re-edited and posted back up on our personal information. So if anyone wants to check that out, go to YouTube and type in The Wort with Mike, Pete, and Steve, and they will find our channel, and we will have that up, and we'll put links in our social media and stuff like that. So Steve, I'll start with you. What was your breakdown of 1940s versus Greenport Harbor?
Wow, round 2 is finished?
No. Round 2 starts tomorrow.
Starts tomorrow.
But we were just giving our predictions.
We are giving our predictions.
Well, we're doing like bracketology, like for NCAA, where the hosts and their, I guess, experts at the time are giving their picks on who they think is going to win each round, each thing. So we kind of just did the second round thing. I'm sure they'll probably end up doing a third and a fourth, or a semi and a final and a quarter.
As far as I know, I think this is our first year in.
You weren't in last year?
I don't believe so.
I feel like you were, but maybe not. I don't know. We'll have to ask Mark.
Sure.
We'll have to ask Mark next show. Yeah, Mark's coming on the show next.
Round 1.
We were up against Hopwinds.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
there you go.
right.
Yeah.
That was
And
it was lopsided.
Yeah, you kind of beat him up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
there was a couple of
happens.
lopsided.
It happens.
There were several lopsided
Yes,
victories.
yeah.
Well, we'll say this, and we'll go back to that. This is a popularity contest,
Without a doubt.
and it's not to say
It
that
is.
anything about the beer or anything else.
No,
it's just
it's
about
just-
the
yes.
patronage,
The patronage
voting.
brewery and
Who can mobilize their
Right.
fan base
And
to
that's
vote?
the way we kind of picked who we think is going to win.
And think about it this
next
way too,
round.
Charlie. You were just at Blue Point Cast Fest. You guys kicked your keg. You guys
That's
did you
right.
win an award?
Sure.
yes, we
Yeah,
have
you
the
got the-
trophies in the tasting room.
There you go. So that's
right.
what I'm saying. So right there's a reason for popularity. There's a reason for exposure, and for people to have the name at the tip of their tongue when they're voting. So, Steve, give us what you said for your predictions coming up for the Greenport Harbor and 1940s matchup.
So again, we tried to keep our love for whomever it is that is part of the brewery. We had to make a couple of hard choices, but
We try to keep it as fair as possible.
we think, again, popularity-wise, you guys, you're in the middle, more towards the middle of the island, and you're coming out with more new things.
More frequent releases.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Greenport, yes, they have a popularity. They have kind of like
History.
yes, they've been
brand
around
recognition.
brand recognition.
Yeah.
But there's really nothing like, there's not a Sapphire Squeeze.
Well,
that-
I'll say this: they do have releases. They do it out of their Peconic branch, right, or whatever
Right.
they are. They have smaller 4-packs. The problem is there's no distribution of that
right.
stuff. So
You
you,
don't
can't
hear
go to a
about it.
local
It's not-
distribution
it's
and
not advertised on
and they're
social
not
media the way
very social media
something like Starboard Down was.
They're not very social media in your face. I don't get a lot from them. We're following them. How often do you see that pop up in our feeds?
Yeah,
Rarely,
And
if
when
any.
when,
I
when
can't
you
remember
see
last
it,
time.
it's usually not like, hey, we released this. It's like, hey, Jim's brewing some beer.
Yeah.
We're brewing beer in the morning.
Yeah.
These things, when there's a release and you kind of throw it out at people's faces, that's what you want. You want to catch your
One
eye.
of my favorite beers for years was Behave, the summer
Oh,
beer
yeah,
that they
yeah,
did.
yeah.
Delicious. Love it.
I loved originally when they did the Duck Porter.
Yeah, Black Duck Porter.
Yeah, that
love
was
Black
so
Duck
good.
Porter, and also a Leaf Pile. I mean, these are classic brews that have been
Yeah.
around Long Island for maybe 10 years, right?
Sure.
The problem is there's nothing new. There's nothing that I'm seeing that's new, and I love Greenport Harbor. I wish it was more prevalent in local distribution and in tap lists beyond those core beers that we see in bars and restaurants.
Well,
Charlie, you
that's-
have a much more diversified portfolio.
I think what you're going to see is with people who have that type of, when they get to be that size.
Yeah.
Greenport was much smaller when it was in the firehouse and
Yes.
everything, and they still have that firehouse tasting room. It's your demand to what is going to be distributed becomes what you produce.
But
Right.
they
But-
have now 3 locations. They have their production facility, they have their firehouse, and they have their Peconic farm.
Well,
part.
the Peconic is a production facility too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So why
So-
wouldn't they? And maybe because the demand is so high, but I don't even see that. Like I see GSB, or I'll see.
Well, maybe the releases are done in the tasting room.
Well, here, let me.
You know.
Well, yes,
I
but
mean,
doesn't that-
this I mean, I was out there a couple of guild meetings ago, and they had a great selection.
Yes,
of
and I'm
this
not
stuff.
saying they don't. I'm just saying it's not for the people that are online, for the people of the age group that are social media savvy and are doing this, are voting for hopscotch. The audience of hopscotch.
That's what we're looking at.
Yeah, that's really the
Yeah.
analytics of it. Who's following hopscotch? Who's voting?
Now-
It's the people that are so social media savvy
here's the-
and are craft beer lovers.
Well, here's the thing that we're doing. We bought our own canning line.
Smart.
Okay, combined with the new system that we have in place, which went in the middle of COVID, we are now producing everything, and everything is getting canned.
And right out
That's
the door.
why Change of Jamaica
Right.
is going to be canned. We have some other beers on tap, and the new ones coming out, and the summer, the ones that are big hits in the spring and summer and everything. We're going to be pounding out a lot of stuff.
Now,
And I think what we all said was that you were going to take round 2. I think we all said it
Yeah.
because of what I was citing before, because of the relevance that you have on a weekly, monthly basis versus Greenport. Then when you look at the audience of craft beer people, they are more inclined to buy stuff that's new. What's new? What do they got coming out? You don't have that from Greenport unless you're there in the Peconic. Go ahead.
Well, so due to the algorithm, I think we just haven't seen it. So I'm on their page just thinking we haven't seen them post, so maybe they just aren't posting.
Yeah.
And then I'm seeing all these beer releases I had no fucking idea about.
Really?
Because it's just not showing up.
But if it's not just, and we are very, very active on social media, and I'm sure a lot of people are falling to that pitfall then, and they're just not seeing. So give me an example.
Off-season IPA.
Okay.
Double Duck. Creme
Double
de
Duck.
Fork. North Fork Native Wild Ale.
When's the last post that they had? Today?
Oh, dude, I haven't gone past February.
No. Just scroll to the most current post.
Most current post was 5 hours ago.
5 hours ago. Okay. So they are active.
Yeah. They are active. We just haven't seen it.
Wow. The algorithm, you're right. That's crazy.
Now, House Pills.
Yeah.
These are all from the last 2 months.
But you're not seeing that though in local distribution or in bars and restaurants.
Now, are these obviously are not stories? These are just
posts. I'm just flipping through.
Now, now here's the other thing, as we brought up about the people that follow hopscotch.
Yeah.
Now, Greenport Harbor, they have 34,000 followers on Instagram.
Yes.
Wow.
1940s has about 6,000.
Right.
Again, though,
of those 6,000, how many are interactive?
Out of those 34,000, how many people are either know about hopscotch or going to hopscotch or follow them for
Both
their
of them, right?
I think it's the other way. They might have a smaller following,
but they're way more active.
But again, I think those group of people are the same group of people that are going to follow.
Yeah. Hopscotch's audience lines up more with with Charlie's crowd than.
And so what we were saying as we going through these mashups, Charlie, is those are all those analytics we have to put into it as we're sitting there on the spot. We did 2 takes of the episode.
And that's why Sand City's going to crush my balls.
As we're going to get to that.
You're up against Sand City?
Yeah, he has no chance in hell.
Everybody at Sand City's like, oh, this was fixed, fucking bastards, all this stuff. Considering that Adam and most of the guys that work for me work there.
Yeah.
Which one do they work at? The one on Lindenhurst?
Yeah.
Cool. My question was, how many Sand City employees are going to vote for Barrage in the contest?
Yeah, well, we're going to see how many swing the other way.
Adam's like, I'm putting a sign up. If you don't fucking sign, you're not getting a beer. No, he didn't say that. I just fucking made that up.
But again, going back to what you said, it's a popularity contest.
It is, yeah.
We saw the bracket, and I go like, okay, so, but there was no explanation. We didn't get the heads up on, hey, promote this or anything else.
Right.
And
simply from that, even without that.
It wasn't until we were done canning and I had go like, oh, look at this. There's somebody liked it. And I looked at it and we were tagged in the post from Hopscotch and I go like, oh, we're on to round 2. Okay. I mean,
that's same thing happened with Nightmare.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just, he didn't have
And it
time
went
to
the other
really
way.
post.
And Lost Farmer is way more active on social media than
Yes.
On the tip of everyone's tongue.
They have those people that are the craft beer people that do follow Hopscotch.
Yep.
Again,
shared audience.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a combination of multiple things. It's the variety of beer. It's what you can your what you can put out, what you do, and your popularity.
Yeah.
I mean
where you're available too, where people can get your beer outside of the brewery.
See, now here's my thing.
That's where we're growing is outside.
I see Greenport when I go to Stop and Shop,
Yep.
stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't buy beer from Stop and Shop.
Well,
I go to my local, Home D.
Yeah.
And I walk around and I see what's
Belmore, right?
Belmore Bev.
Yeah.
And,
I'll say this. So my Home D, which was Flag, ended up changing ownership.
Oh, they did.
Yeah. The widow sold her end, and now it's owned by some other gentleman of foreign descent. And I'm not sure exactly what kind of direction they're going to head in. Some of the same employees are there for sure. They kept on some of the employees, and they still have a good craft beer selection. But they're making changes,
good selection,
like really good. Yeah. You had everything, new releases, and they're also carrying Sand City now too, so that definitely helps them a little bit.
As is my favorite home D, Some Guys.
Right. So for me, Some Guys is a little further away. So if I want a quick, trip, it's going to take 10, 15 minutes to go and come back. Flag was like 3 minutes up the road. And it was just so much easier to get. So, when you're looking at, what is there and what's available, I'd rather just go to Sand City or 27 or anybody else at that point besides the home D.
If you're craving Sand City, it's quicker for you to go to the brewery than it is to go to...
But that's me. That's me as the craft beer guy, as opposed to maybe someone who's just a moderate craft beer liker.
And the money's going right to the brewery, too.
Yeah.
I mean, you're paying extra just for the distribution. The money still goes back to the brewery at a discount cost because they're selling it at a lower rate for bulk.
They're selling it at a retail rate.
Correct.
So, because the brewery has to make a little bit, and the distributor has to make. So when you go to the brewery's getting
everything, 100%.
Yeah.
So it does help to do that for sure.
Yes, especially for the smaller guys.
I guess for you, Charlie, and if anyone can pull up the rest of the bracket, I believe you're going to take it just from popularity, from your audience, from your patrons, seeing that. I guess when they start voting again, make sure you tag or make sure you put your repost in there for everyone to go vote. And just don't forget, you can vote in the story, but then you can vote again on the link in the website. It's in the bio of Instagram, so you can vote twice. And I think a lot of your people did that. Again, social media savvy, understands their phone, understands how to navigate through things. And it's going to be tough to overcome a big Goliath, but I think you have the audience to do that, and I think that's kind of where we went.
It would be I would be pleased, whether we do or don't. It doesn't. To me, it's.
I mean, I had him at least in the Sweet 16.
The one that still bothers me.
Yeah.
Is the Ghost in Dubco.
I know.
I was just thinking the same thing. That is the one I'm so anxious to see.
I'm torn on that one.
When we were doing the segment, we were we did a long form and then we did a shorter form, maybe like 3 or 4 minutes, shaved down, really condensed, a couple lines about each matchup. But in the long form, we were right on that, right? We were like, man, that's like
there's some that I'm really curious to see how they turn out, like threes versus KCBC. For different reasons, curious to see how that comes out.
Root and Branch and Secatog. I mean, that one.
If Secatog
could really go either way,
because Root and Branch is so popular, even beyond our local area.
Right,
it's traded online all over the country.
Those both of the guys came from Torst.
Yep,
they are like transplants from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So they have a huge following.
If they post that
are
story,
those people in Brooklyn following hopscotch?
Well, right. But what I'm thinking is if the guys from Root and Branch promote that, promote that in their story to go say, hey, go vote for us on hopscotch. They fucking win.
They'll have stuff from all over the country. And here's the deal. That's the big thing. If you are a good cross promoter, anyone can take over anybody in this bracketology. You have that, but do you have the overall bracket? Who else is in Charlie's bracket? Not the matchups that we saw that we were going off of, but who's? I'm sure it's on Hopscotch's post somewhere if you want to look at their thing. Yep. But I saw. I think when I was looking at it prior to our taping yesterday, that I was looking at how each area would come out, and I was predicting myself. I saw you easily making it to Sweet 16, even with Greenport Harbor in your way, because I knew the audience and the patronage would definitely be part of the voting system and follow.
Well, you got to remember, as it gets further and further down the line, it's a difficult. It becomes more difficult for each brewery. Unless they're extremely
Steve.
The answer is yes.
Please.
And I'll be honest with you, the flavor is great as it gets a little warmer. It's great.
We need to talk about that.
It really just comes out. Yeah, we definitely will.
You got to give him the other can to take home so he can enjoy it later
He
on.
won't, though. That's the thing, Charlie.
He can't enjoy it until
Who
after.
the fuck is Ghost Hawk?
Oh, so anyway, so let's just indicative of all this
Yeah.
is the fact that the winner last year was Two Villains from Nyack, New York, a small brewery we had on in season 3 or so, or maybe over COVID in season 4.
COVID, yeah.
And we thought we were breaking new ground with that podcast. We thought it was they were awesome dudes. We thought we found like this diamond in the rough out of nowhere. So many more people knew about them because there you go, they won last year's hops, and they beat Sand City, they beat Barrier, they beat the Haze Craze, they beat Root and Branch.
Other half.
Right.
Yeah, other half.
Yeah.
They beat some big breweries, and it was all about their audience.
Yeah.
And that's the great thing about this.
That's the audience. Your audience does it.
Yep.
Some of these matchups.
When we went to Blue Point. That was when I saw you guys at Blue Point, and you were interviewing Paul. I came over because Paul had been talking stuff on Instagram and Facebook, and that's when I told him he was going to go down.
It was friendly banter.
It was friendly banter.
You know what? The best part was because Paul won the Brews Collective
Indie
Cast Fest, so he was very proud of it. Yeah. And
he said he was going to take the Blue Point, and then he was going to take the Indie Cast Fest.
And he was going to come up with his own Cast Fest to take the trifecta.
But that's the thing. Like, no, he wanted the belt so he can run around the ring at GSV.
Yes,
that's what it was. So I'm looking at your. I'll break down your bracket, right? So let's say you come out of round 2 beating Greenport Harbor. Here are the potentials. You're going to have to fight Long Ireland.
Oh Jesus!
Or Ubergeek. Now, Ubergeek and Long Ireland had a huge lopsided victory.
What do you think?
But can that sustain to a new brewery like Ubergeek, who also had a pretty lopsided win over Po' Boy? And again, Po' Boy wins Best of Long Island almost every year, and yet in this particular one, it's all about who follows Hopscotch. And Ubergeek people do because he releases some of the beer there at Hopscotch. Long Ireland has had a few cans on the shelf, but their audience is tremendous. So do you see it as, are we getting a matchup of audience versus just complete great cross-promotion, or are we really going to get a matchup of whose brewery is better, whose beer is better? That's going to be a tough one because that's another one that I really like beer from both places.
Well, I have no offense to Ubergeek. I have not had a chance to get out that way.
Okay.
You should, because he's doing some really good stuff.
I believe he is.
And he's contracting Springs and one other, and Springs is kind of like took us for a loop. We're like, what the hell is this? Where did this come from?
A lot of people are telling me.
And he was in charge of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to check out Ubergeek for sure.
Yeah.
What are your predictions? Let's say it's Ubergeek. Oh, it is. It's Ubergeek versus Long Ireland. Who comes out on that one?
Listen.
Listen.
It's tough. That one is tough because I'm looking at.
Oh, wait, Sheila's on Instagram right now. Sheila, you have a big matchup. Long Island versus Ubergeek. She's going to call, of course, Long Island. Of course.
No. I want to hear her thoughts on why she thinks.
Sheila, call us. It's 516-465-3990. 516-465-3990. It's just a more direct way to interact with us. It's a better way. And the number is, by the way, at the bottom of the screen if on Facebook or YouTube.
That one's going to be. I think that's going to be a battle down to the. It's going to be very tight.
Yeah, some of them were.
It's a coin. It's going to be a coin toss.
And for the ones that we saw that were like that in round one, their audiences were battling it out online.
Right. But you have to also remember, if Long Ireland promotes it, they have a very
big
wide audience.
Very loyal.
And loyal.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I've known Dan and Greg. They're the ones who Dan took.
You helped birth both of them.
Dan took me upstairs in the attic for a private
it's an
auction.
old joke. Yeah.
I still have his tasting room chairs are still at work in the brewery.
Oh, really? Yeah.
From his original tasting room because they were going to get rid of them and get new stuff. We were upcoming, fledgling. We hadn't even opened yet brewery, and he opened the doors to us, and he's been a big part of how I got really started. That's where the big question came from. because he used to do the roller derby events for the Long Island Roller Rebels, of which my
Yes.
daughter was.
That's the first
on
time I
team.
had his beer. Was at one of the roller derby events.
That's crazy.
yeah.
And
That's
his
crazy.
daughter was on
My
one of the
daughter
teams.
was one of the in
the roller derby.
The same one that's the stand-up comic?
yeah.
Wow. She
Oh,
went
she
from...
does it, bro. She's a tattooist.
She's a
Wow,
cosmetic
birthed-
tattoo
You
artist.
helped birth some very dynamic human beings.
Well, his wife did.
Right, but no, I said
My
he
wife
helped.
birthed it.
He helped.
I'm
I mean,
not
back in
even-
his day,
I'm not even
back
too
in his
sure.
day, they weren't doing births in hospitals.
Well-
so they were just having water births.
Well,
and,
you know
and
who he
at home births.
who he is, right?
Yeah.
He's the guy where the bullet went through his scrotum. Some of the sperm was on here and accidentally hit his wife, and she became pregnant. and-
That's almost the Immaculate Conception. So close to the Immaculate Conception. That's unbelievable.
Can I
But I
kick
mean,
him
that
again?
matchup, Charlie, that's got to be that's a tough one because Long Ireland is the king of the East End at this point. If you want to say like from Riverhead East. And I'm not saying per volume. I'm not saying distribution. I'm just saying the one that stands out for the namesake and the history.
The history.
The one
Don't
we're
start
both
with- I know.
in is also not on the list.
How many? I believe
You know
they
how
just
many-
didn't they just celebrate or going to celebrate their like 10th or 13th.
They're on their 11th year now. They
11th.
did 10
No,
years, 10 beers.
like 30. I think you're right. 12 or 13.
13.
No, we
I
were
think
over
it's
there in
15.
COVID, and we were tasting.
No, that
10
was
years, 10 beers.
pre-COVID.
That was pre-COVID.
That was at
Yeah.
the Coliseum.
Yeah.
How
Yes,
fast does
13.
life go?
Yes,
God damn
that's
it.
what I'm saying.
Holy
The COVID
Yeah, we
thing
lost
fucks
3
with your
years like that.
timeline.
Yeah, it sure did. That's a totally different timeline.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, it's going to be a tough one. I think it's going to be like you the old North Carolina versus Duke matchup years ago.
By the way, North Carolina won, sons of bitches, but that didn't change the Duke taking the regular season win. And you want me to do real bracketology?
No,
13,
shit.
13 years.
Duke is taking the
13
ACC
years.
championship right at the Barclays on
Okay,
Saturday
relax.
night.
This is a beer.
And then
podcast.
all of a sudden, boom, bam, boom, they're a number 2 seed
Bing
in the
bong.
ACC NCAA championship, and they were going to take it at least to the Final Four. So there's my predictions for regular basketball, not just beer bracketology. There's a bunch of matchups on there too that we were talking about people being left off. There is some hard feelings, I think, every year because there's only 64 breweries in this list.
And that's a lot to include between Montauk and like upstate.
No, wait a minute.
Hold on. We got Sheila. Sheila's going to call it. Sheila, this is the word, Mike, Pete, and Steve. What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
All right,
So hi, Sheila.
turn down your radio in the background so we don't hear ourselves in a delay.
Yeah, I got it down.
There
like
you
a bunch
go.
of dopes.
Yeah, hear our dopey banter. So you have a matchup coming up. Have you been following the Hopscotch Brewery bracketology?
Yeah, of course I have.
Of
I love the guys at Hopscotch, first of all. So I follow them in general. And then also I love bracketology, March Madness.
All right, what college basketball fan are you?
You know what? I don't really have an allegiance to one specific team.
Okay.
I kind of always hope for the Cinderella stories,
Yeah,
And,
the 16 knocking off the 1 or the 14 beating the 8. Yeah, those are
yeah,
good.
I love seeing stuff like that. I've gone to Big East games and stuff, and I've been to the Final Four, so
Nice.
I love stuff like that. So I love the idea that they're doing this, and it's funny that I happened to tune in just as you guys were mentioning it.
Yeah, exactly. So you have a matchup coming up. It's Long Island versus Uber Geek.
Yeah.
The Battle of Riverhead.
I want to hear as non-biased report on this.
Be as objective as you can on
Well,
this one.
I'll say this. You
Or
guys had
why
a-
do you think you're going to win?
You had a huge lopsided victory in round 1.
Yeah.
Do you guys cross-promote this? Like, what's the essence of you guys really, or is there just people that are at your brewery that know about this brewery bracketology and know that they need to go vote?
I think that's what it is. Honestly, I didn't even realize when the voting had started for our bracket. So by the time I realized that it was going on, it was already like 80 to 20.
We don't mean to laugh, but yeah, it was a slaughter.
Yeah.
Who did they go up against?
He has it. Peter pull.
I'll pull it up in a second.
Yeah. Who'd you go up against? You know offhand?
It It was Mauritius Field Brewing.
Oh,
That's
Field.
right, yeah,
and we
yeah,
like
yeah.
Mauritius,
Yeah.
but you know
Yeah.
what? Too new.
They're so new.
Too
Yes.
new.
Yeah.
That's what it
Right.
was.
I like how
Of course.
traditional styles.
No, we loved it there. It was
I
great.
liked it
The beer was great, but it's about being so new and then just having an audience that's so social media
was
savvy and
lopsided.
also
That
follows
was the one.
hopscotch. Now, they don't distribute anything. They don't have
No.
anything out there except for out of the brewery. So I think that's a detriment.
Yeah.
Going back to what I was saying.
Smaller audience.
Smaller audience. So, yeah. So you have a bigger matchup here because we know that Rob distributes through hopscotch as well. So now it's going to be a battle of the shelves, I think. What do you think you guys are going to do here in round 2 that's going to help you eke out a win?
You know, I think that it's a really great matchup, and I will say that I really love Rob, and I love Uber Geek, and I'm really happy with all.
But you're
the
gonna
stuff
take
that
them
we
down.
did.
I hear it. I hear it in your voice, Sheil. I hear it.
That's
You're trying to be so nice and just so cordial and just like, we love him and he's a great guy and everything. But
Well-
we're gonna rip the bones out of his body and beat him with it.
Well, listen, it doesn't mean that I think that we're not going to win, or that I don't want to win.
That's my girl. That's what I wanted to hear.
But I do truly, honestly, really like Rob, and I like what he's doing over there. So,
So if it comes down to it, and you guys do take a round 2 victory, you could be going up against Charlie in 1940s. He's here in studio with us tonight. And what do you think it's going to come down to for that matchup to get into the Sweet 16?
you guys are really putting me on the
Yeah.
spot.
Why not? Come on.
It makes for interesting.
We're all having fun.
Yeah.
Two of my the two breweries that mentored
Yeah.
and got me
You know what?
started.
I think
one
that
is
it has
Barrage,
to
one is
do-
Long Island. Come on, I don't.
I think that a lot of it has to do with your audience and how savvy they are with
Yes.
the voting
Yeah.
process.
Sure. Yep.
Agreed.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about before. It's got to be the savviness of the people who are following hopscotch are the same people who are on Instagram or wherever all the time and are checking in and looking at new things. And again, what posts do you have that have just come out? Like we just went back through Greenport and realized our algorithm is not letting us see much of Greenport, so we just don't think they exist on the map. Meanwhile, they do. So if someone else's algorithm is different and they're seeing a lot of the releases
Right.
of Greenport, is that something that's going to affect the race? And the answer is going to be definitely yes, for sure.
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, I wasn't really. So obviously, you guys know that I handle the social media and all of that for Long Island, right? And I wasn't really planning an all-out assault for this bracketology
boy.
thing.
But I was.
But now.
but now that you mention it,
I know it's to me it's friendly competition, and
Yes.
I think that it's great across the board for all of us.
yeah,
I really do.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And the great thing
How
about
exciting
it
is this, though? The fucking
Yeah, is there
I'm
a
not into
buzz
March
in the brewery?
Madness, so this is.
This is your March Madness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the competition aspect of it. I mean, I'm, full-fledged into the bracket thing. Like I said, I mean, I'm going to do March Madness brackets with our brewer, Kevin. There's a big lunch on the line. So, I'm totally into it.
Well, really quick, there's a bunch of people checking on Instagram, which I just failed to even look at. Hoppy Hogan. Hoppy Hogan is checking in and saying, this bracketology episode is lit. Hoppy Hogan, this isn't the whole episode. We did a whole
you gotta see the
hour before.
hopscotch.
Well, not just that. We have a 20-minute produced segment on this that's going to come out hopefully tomorrow. I'll probably
believe
have it tomorrow, and it'll be on our YouTube page. And we'll make sure that we link it in our Instagram bio. But you're going to see all of our predictions for round 2, and then maybe as we go through the rest of the bracketology, we'll chime in with our potential picks individually. We probably won't get to even maybe the final will be in 2 weeks, but I don't think we'll even get to be able to get together prior to that final matchup. We have Sheila on the line from Long Island Brewery. We got Charlie here from 1940s, Steve from Barrage, all of which are in the mix on round 2. It's amazing.
Right.
We should have probably have a few more people call in for
I
this
just
one.
want
This
to.
is awesome.
I just want to see how badly Barrage gets raped and pillaged by Sand City.
And that's a big matchup.
Wait,
Sheila,
wait a minute. shouldn't think that way.
You have to.
Because
if you win,
but it's going back to what we've been talking about. It is a popularity thing. How many people at Sand City?
I think there's a lot of nostalgia.
Well,
no,
yes.
You got to remember.
Here's the thing.
You got to remember when at the Cast Festival, the surprise was because I walk in and there's Adam with the two casks, and I go like, what the heck is he up to now?
Steve was surprised, but I think 90% of the brewers were surprised.
Yes,
they had no idea.
Yeah,
I was like, he's back.
The amount of text messages and especially home D's too.
Yeah.
So when you're coming out with
how
stuff,
many cases can I get?
Where are you brewing? What's going on? So it's back. No tasting room, but you're going to be distributing, right?
Look, in
who are you contracting with?
Steve, in 2022, I would like to see 2 more collabs. One with 1940s, one with Long Island. That would be amazing. 2 collabs that would, and you don't have to do 4, you don't have to do 6. 2 very special releases that would go along with what you guys have had for the history.
Every collab that I've done, has been me being asked to do a collab. I haven't asked anybody to do a collab.
That's why I mentioned it right now.
And well, and if the guys from Smallcraft are listening, because they were like, he doesn't want to do a collab with us. No, you just gotta ask.
You just gotta ask.
Somebody's been asking for a while.
Well, you haven't asked recently.
You've been avoiding me.
All right, girls. We don't want to. We gotta separate you. The locker room here.
I avoided him like the Spanish flu that he went through back in 1918,
and I'm still here. Civil War.
You wore a mask back then too, didn't you, Charlie?
Yeah, I do.
He still should wear one.
Sheila, you have you seen your full bracket? I mean, but let's just say, as a scenario, you do take out 1940s. You're going against some big guys there in the Sweet 16 and the Final Four. How do you see the bracket going? What's your prediction for a final winner of this whole year?
Honestly, I really don't have a prediction just yet. I'm waiting to see how our bracket pans out because it's not an easy one. Like our side of the divide here is definitely packed with some heavy hitters. I mean, you have Dubco. Well, okay, so I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but you have Dubco ultimately being pitted against who is it? Ghost, right?
Yeah. That's the one, Sheila, we were talking about yesterday. That's the one that all three of us are like, I don't know how that could really go either way. And I feel like that's going to be such a tight margin on that one.
And it's like voting which child is the favorite.
Yeah.
I don't know which one I would want to pick because I love both of those breweries, both of the people, both of the beers equally. I don't think I could make that choice. And I said the only reason why we made a choice.
Well, the reason you made a choice.
Yes, is because Eleanor Black IPA. Yes, one beer.
One beer swayed you.
One beer swayed. And I said, Paul, if you're listening, all you have to do is brew a Black IPA.
I think it really comes down to how fervent their fan bases are.
Yes.
You know?
Yep.
That is going to play such a huge part in everything that plays out moving forward. So,
Sheila, outside the brewery bracketology, how are things going? Everything's good?
Yeah, doing great. We just celebrated our 13th anniversary.
13?
I told you.
Yeah.
Dude, COVID fucked with my timeline. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I lost 2 years. I really thought it was like last year, and then like we were drinking King Celtic off the bright tanks.
I know. That's right, King Celtic. I forgot. You guys love that.
Selfish question. When does King Celtic
coming back? Yes, please.
And we'll vote for you. Just get it to us.
Get it done.
Listen, when you guys wrangle beer making deals for me,
I see where this is going. Listen, I'll
know that.
I'll ask Aaron for another one. I'll be like, listen, things are going well, and hopefully we got a lot of beer makers sold for you. I see you guys are making a lot of money.
I
from
just love that she hasn't let that go.
No,
she wanted that beer maker so bad.
I am persistent.
Yes. Well, are you celebrating your 30th birthday soon?
Yes.
There you go, babe.
Well, there you go. Maybe we'll all chip in, and it'll be a gift from the Wort. We'll see what we can do.
Well, that would be amazing. But yeah, and also too, I'm really excited because it's National Women's History Month, and you guys know what that means.
The Lady Brewsters are coming back.
That's right. And,
so we saw. Maybe you can give us some insights because I want to reach out to Michelle. Michelle moved over to Sloop, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, she's still at North Fork, but she's in the midst of a really great internship at.
Oh, cool.
Now, what
Yeah.
are the aspirations? Is she trying to become more of a brewer in the brew house, or is she looking to just move up in the overall ladder of giant breweries that distribute throughout the country?
I mean, the internship that she's going through really is aimed at production.
Okay.
So, I don't really know exactly what her end goal is, except, domination, which is what I want.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And she's doing a great job of it. So I don't know what she's going to end up doing. But
Cool. No,
she's
so you
working
guys
really hard.
you have something on the schedule. What are you guys going to be brewing? What are you going to do?
Well, we haven't announced what exactly we're going to be doing.
You
yet,
can make
but
the announcement right here on the Wort with Mike, Pete, and Steve.
Well, what I will say and announce is that Rob from Uber Geek has really graciously stepped up as the host of the 2022 project.
See,
Is that
that's
the second
what.
year in a row, Sheila, for brewing at Uber Geek?
No, actually, it hasn't been brewed at Uber
Ah,
Geek
okay.
before.
Well, this
Last
is
year
interesting
we
because you have a
brewed
matchup coming up this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Time to.
I'm not worried about it.
No. So you have. I know we talked to you last year about it, and you guys were considering another IPA, but with some different adjuncts. Are you still on that same path?
Yeah, it's so difficult. I mean, you guys know because with everything going on, COVID and, shipping problems, the cost of everything
Yeah,
is so crazy
sky
right
high.
now.
Yeah.
Like adjuncts, grain, everything is like 20 to 30% higher.
So just brew a lager.
Yeah.
Cans, like it's,
Yep.
just crazy, everything. And so, we're small. We don't have a budget to throw at things. So
Right.
we have to be careful planning out the beer that we're going to make.
Well, maybe only do taproom releases. That way you don't have to distribute. And for the most part, all the participating membership of the Lady Brewsters at their corresponding breweries can present that to the brewery itself and allow it to be on tap. And then you'll get the release. You'll get that exposure that you guys were doing and end up still getting the beer moving within the tap rooms.
I mean, that's what we did the first year,
Right.
and it was great. We all had the beer on tap, and we even had it at a couple of local restaurants and bars. But,
Cool.
having it in cans in that package really made a huge impact last year.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I don't think that we would want to take a step backwards in the project. And honestly, we do have some really exciting stuff that we're working on that's going to allow us to move forward.
Ooh. This seems like
so
you know
yeah.
a lot more than you're letting us know.
Yeah,
I know
It's all
things.
good
Well,
things. It's all good things, but I don't want to jump ahead
All
and
right,
all
right.
piss
So-
off my other Lady Brewsters. in
On the
process.
schedule, are you when would be the brew date? Are you looking for mid-March?
Yeah, the brew date is definitely mid to late March,
Okay.
and we're looking for a release in April. Actually,
Okay.
I mean, obviously March is Women's History Month, but there's a lot of significance in April as far as women's causes as well. So,
Cool.
Great.
yeah.
So
Very
that's
excited
what
about
you
it.
should do. Make sure you obviously advertise that on the Lady Brewsters Instagram page, and show the process and everything you guys are doing, and then go right through the releases. It'll be
I'm
just as
excited.
popular as it was last year.
I hope so. I really fell in love with the beer that we put out last year, and I would like to just keep on progressing as far as quality. I mean, that's what it's about. It's about the message, but we want to put out a quality product too.
Exactly. All right, Sheila, thanks a lot for calling in.
Yeah,
we
thanks.
hope. We
Thanks, guys, for
we
having
hope and we don't hope that you make it through to the next round because we do like
curious.
Rob. But all
It's
in
going
all,
to be
in
a bruiser
friendly
for the Battle of Riverhead.
all in all for friendly competition, and we'll see you soon. Call us up and get in contact with us when you have the next Lady Brewster's brew set to release, and we'll bring you back on and have you on for partial segments of our shows because we've been double booking and. It's been a very busy year for a lot of people coming in, so we want to squeeze you in, and of course, if anything, just a phone call has been awesome tonight. I really appreciate it.
Get that word out.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, guys. As always, I love talking to you.
All right,
Same
Sheila.
here.
Take care, Sheila.
Bye, Sheila.
All right. Bye, guys.
Sheila from Long Island Brewing Company. I'm drinking a lot
I
of
was
this
just going to
13%.
say, yeah, how many have you had right now?
Well, whatever. Charlie, tell me about Man
let's
Overboard.
talk about this. It
First
does
of all,
not, it
one of my
doesn't taste. I don't taste the heat.
First of all, one of my favorite songs from Blink-182, but I'm sure that's not what the essence is of that song. Pete hates pop punk, so
Yeah, I like
fine.
Blink-182.
Well,
Yeah, it's a great song.
The name came from one of our patrons.
Ah.
The
Who liked
recipe
one
the
Blink-182?
recipe is my son's. He's been doing all the brewing, and it was his recipe to make the that makes up this Imperial Red Ale. It's
Imperial it is.
yes,
Like a fucking stormtrooper in my
Right.
brain.
It made it. We made enough to fit into the 2 bourbon barrels that we have.
Giddy
And
app.
it sat there for
Ever.
a couple of months.
Since
we
1916.
actually what we want to actually do is take one of the kegs and just put it away and discover it a couple of months later, like I did with Imperial Confession during COVID when we didn't have a brew house, and I moved the keg and I go like, oh
There's
my
stuff in
God,
there.
we got stuff. So it was another tap line that went up. But yeah, we're going through a lot of changes. We're planning on canning most everything that we make. So right now it is 11 of our beers, I believe, are in
Holy
cans.
shit.
Now you mentioned it before. You're renovating the tasting room. Does that mean the tasting room is going to be closed at all?
No.
Okay.
The painting is done except for a need to redo in certain areas. The wainscoting in the 3 other rooms are done. The floor is complete in the entire brewery, with the including the back bathroom, which is the spare bathroom that we have.
Clark, the shitter's full.
The next step is I'm working with Duncan from Gorilla Rap Works to do the side room over, because we
That's that one,
Right.
like when you walk in, it's straight ahead.
No, it's to your right.
To the right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you walk in at an angle, I guess.
Where the
yeah.
shuffleboard is?
Yeah, where
Yeah,
the
okay,
shuffleboard
cool.
is. There's two couches in there now. There's
lounge.
leather chairs around There's nice chairs around the table. The bar chairs have been redistributed, and there are 11 new cushioned, like leather chairs.
Many leather-bound books.
Yes.
So we've gone to digital menus.
Cool.
cool.
Yeah.
My bartenders are so happy that we did. And there's, I think that's, the kind of changes we want to make on the front end. The back end was the canning machine. The fact is that we're putting out every few weeks, you're going to see another run of cans of something.
And having your own canning line, I think, allows you, I'm sure, to can everything, right? Versus bringing a third party to.
Well, you know what? What's cool about it too, and not a lot of people think of it. You could do small releases.
Yes.
And can it, and it's maybe only tasting room available, and when it's gone, it's gone, and it just
create that
buzz.
crave. Yeah.
We've been running
Especially like something like
just
this.
maybe
Yeah.
50 cases at a time.
Nice. Okay.
Of what we're going to do.
That's good.
Except
That's a
for
good amount.
the 2 big boys for the summer, they got to go in the 20s.
Yeah.
Because the demand for that is crazy.
In bloom?
No,
Nope.
just tap it in and teeing it up.
Tappity.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Especially considering the footprint we now have to cover, which is New York, Manhattan, Nassau, Suffolk, Hudson Valley, and the capital
Wow,
region.
you're really reaching out. Nice. I like it.
Yeah, I want to see us throughout the state before my time to
retire.
You're not going to die anytime soon, Charlie.
No,
You've been
no.
living for 150 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
You got
been
another
around.
Well, hopefully
200
before
in
the
you.
Second
the
American
Gollum.
Revolution,
Yeah.
your beer's available everywhere.
But and then also it opens up the opportunity at the same time to reset our goal in central New Jersey. 'Cause
I
that
think you were going to
distrib-
say Central America for a second. I really did.
we haven't
But
been able to
that's-
supply.
yeah.
That distributor would just tap it in. So
Yeah.
we know
Cool.
we got to constantly keep making that in the 20s till it's time.
You've made significant improvements on the brew house, significant improvements on the brewery itself. Distribution is going wide, and you're still just considered at this point, and this is not a detriment to what you've done, but like a small local brewery with big arms that are just reaching out and grabbing everything. It's awesome.
Well, it's part of. It's where I have you. If you would have spoken to me a number of years ago, I would have said I couldn't believe where I am. Now I see where I am today, and I go like, I know where I want to be tomorrow.
Interesting.
He's a big part of what he mentored
Pete?
me. No,
Yes.
Steve.
Wow, Pete, you're amazing.
He said to me, "Don't make good quality beer,
right,
and
the rest will follow.
the rest will
Yeah,
follow."
yeah.
Listen, there is a couple of times we've just had to go, well, say goodnight, Harry, and watch it go down, because we wouldn't serve it.
Yeah.
It would be it would be an insult.
And it would hurt the brand because
Sure.
your
Yes.
idea is for the
Yes.
brand to go up and not to take any plateauing or
Right.
downward spiral.
Right. With the new system, I mean, we went from a 3-barrel system to a 5-barrel system to a 10-barrel system, and we have now started making modifications to the 10 so that production and hop additions and everything is even changing further. So the quality of what will come out is going to just keep getting better.
I think it's one of the things that you guys as brewers have to do. You have to just keep optimizing every element, every step of your process.
Well, once you've gotten all of the equipment parts done, the next thing is, okay, what are we putting out? We have a lot of things in the back pages. I can't reveal all of it.
Oh, you're going to
But-
pull a Sheila on us, are you?
All right, but I
see where
will
it's
let it
going.
out.
He just wants to come on the show again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wants to come back on the show. I know what he's
Let's
doing.
put it this way. There is a certain person's company which is joining with us.
Hopscotch? No, I'm just kidding.
And we are
Anheuser-Busch?
we have applied for a dual license.
Oh. For spirits?
No.
Oh, wine?
Well, it has to be that license in order to produce the magic
Mead.
word cider.
I see where it's going. Okay. Interesting. To be determined.
Yes.
TBD.
Yes.
All right,
we're waiting.
Let's
further
leave that as
developments.
a cliffhanger.
Sure.
To where the future
like
may
it.
hold for Charlie. in
And all I
1940s.
know is once we go off the air,
I got a pee-pee.
I'm getting him in a fucking figure 4 leg lock, and he's going to tell me exactly what's going on.
A figure 4 leg.
Oh yeah, you haven't heard that one in a while.
Brett the Hitman Hart over here.
Yeah, figure 4 leg. If he can get it on a first-degree black belt.
Here we go. Yeah, and I have a gray belt. So
It's
what?
not even gray. There's no such thing. All right, Charlie, give us the big plug for 1940s and send us on out of here.
Well, just come on down to the tap room. We're open 7 days a week now. We have 11 beers in cans to go.
Jesus.
Nice.
14 on tap, and that's going to change too as we renovate the tasting room. You won't go wrong. I don't think you'll find, if you love beer, you'll find something there that you will take home.
Black IPA.
And that's coming out made with
Imperial
Simcoe.
Red.
Ooh,
Change to Jamaica.
Yes.
Should be out by end of month, early April.
Okay, nice.
go.
Just in time for Doctor Strange. A little pre-gaming in the parking lot before
Oh,
a little
yeah.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Love it. Check them out. It's 1940s Brewing on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Just type it in the search bar and you'll find it. Charlie, really appreciate you coming in and hanging out with us tonight and sharing unbelievable.
All the damn fine liquid.
All the time. Yeah. Jesus Christ. 13% got me twisted right now, so that's the way it works. We're going to get out of here, and of course, just remember that all of our podcasts and our video after tonight will be available on YouTube and, of course, on all of our platforms, on Spotify, on iTunes, on Amazon Music, and, of course, on the Hopped Up Network. And listen, you could just go over your Alexa and say, Alexa, play The Wort with Mike, Pete, and Steve, and boom, you got the latest episode playing on your Alexa. So just go home and say that and sit in your bed and relax and listen to some fun
I mean,
stuff.
Amazon's listening to you anyway.
That's a good point.
So you might as well tell it to play something
So you're
good.
not on Google, huh?
Well, we can get on Google. That's one of the platforms that the listenership isn't as broad as some of the others. But we're going to expand a little more before we end the run. But that's not for a little while, as far as I could tell. We're going to be doing this for quite some time. So join us in 2 weeks. We got John Green from Stay Green Brewing Company coming on. And,
Awesome.
we're still in talks with Twin Lights from New Jersey. Also going to jump on like Bucket Brigade, leading up into our AC Beer Fest on June 4th and 5th, rather.
4th and 5th.
We're going to try to have a bunch of our friends from New Jersey on there, and then we're going to hang out with them at AC Beer Fest and talk a lot of things. And we're going to have some tickets to give away in the upcoming shows. So stay there, stay watching, and listen to everything in the podcast form, because you never know what kind of secrets we're going to put in there.
Secrets we get.
Before we get out of here, Steve, something to say before we end the show?
Follow Hopscotch. Go on to that beer bracket or brewery bracketology.
Yeah.
Vote twice. And if you vote twice, you could possibly win some prizes.
That's right. Go onto their website and enter to win not only your voting, but enter to win some prize packs from the breweries that are in bracketology.
Yep.
Pete?
Don't forget to have your pet spayed or neutered.
This is The Wort with Mike, Pete, and Steve, govsradio.com, and we out!
Well, that's 2 hours of your life that you'll never get back.
Are you kidding me?
Please hang up and try again. This has been The Wort on Govs Radio. I hope you're drunk enough.